Welcome to Poopcast. I'm Jimmy Davis.
I'm a guy that loves pooping.
I'm Mighteyes. Is that right?
I'm Nintendom64.
Wait, you're Nintendom64, not Nintendom64?
No, it is Nintendom64. That's an in-joke. But yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and we have two guests this time, which could either be a great idea or a horrible idea. I guess we'll find out. But before we get into it, we got some fan art from the last episode sent from Ian O'Keefe. That'll be up on the screen right now. There'll be links to his YouTube channel and Twitter account in the description. If you have any fan art you want to send, you can send it to either me or Logan on Twitter, and we'll get it and put it in the next episode. So, we sent out some stuff on Twitter. We'll get to Twitter questions and stuff eventually, but I think we're just going to kind of start talking. And these podcasts always kind of start off a little bit shaky because you never really know what to talk about at first. But I do know the last episode, I completely forgot to ask Care Epton what his story was for how he first discovered YouTube Poop. So I guess we'll do that here. Which one of you wants to go first with your story of how you first found YouTube Poop?
Emil, do you want to do it first, or?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm not sure if I actually have much of an interesting one, but
well, if you can just kind of remember like what the first YouTube poop you watched, or one of the first YouTube poops you watched, how you discovered it, leading up to when you decided to make your own channel and your own videos.
it's actually really tough for me to remember because it was when I was like 14 years old, and that was in 2008.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Let me think. I think some of the first YouTube poops I watched were things like Water Sky, and I'm actually not quite sure what the first was, but yeah, I don't remember much actually.
But do you remember like how you discovered it? Like if you were just on YouTube looking up certain
I think
videos?
I was just like fucking around on YouTube or something.
Okay.
And I remember seeing a bunch of Zelda CDI YouTube poops, like just stupid ones, the ear rape kind of ones, and things like that. And I just started like wondering how people were able to do these things. I guess that's what really made me want to do them myself. And I started like looking into how I could do it. So I remember this one time I sent a PM to this guy called Ultramoron, and he had a video that had like 1 million views at the time. I think at least, or maybe it was that it got 1 million views later, but. It was a Pingas YTPMV of the Mighty Morphing Power Rangers intro.
Oh god, I've seen that.
Yeah,
I really liked that, so I sent him a PM and asked him like how did he do that and how did he get the Pingas sound. So he replied and said he would send me the Pingas MP3 file if I gave him my email address. So
you're
so that's kind of how I started.
Exchanging your email address to get some Pingas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Age
So
14.
I ended up with this like 2-second long MP3 file, and he told me to use Sony Vegas and Audacity. But I was a little kid, so I had no idea how to get Sony Vegas, so I just started fucking around with it in Windows Movie Maker in
Oh yeah, wasn't the
It was
first
XP.
video like Hotel Mario with Pingus added and like it faded out?
Yeah,
every
exactly. It was it was both the Hotel Mario intro and also the Zelda CDI intro, specifically the Faces of Evil one. And I had just replaced every noun with Pingus. So
So nice.
except yeah,
to invite
exactly.
us over.
Yeah, except that I had no freaking idea, or maybe it was that you couldn't actually do that in Windows Movie Maker.
What version of Movie Maker was it? Because I used to use.
I don't remember. It was
As
a
well.
really old one. But it was it was impossible to remove the audio from the actual video file. At least that's how I remember it. So I couldn't possibly make the audio go away. So I had to put the Pingus on top of it, and I just raised the volume very, very highly, so that it would just
The best
Yeah, but you
YTP ever
still-
made.
yeah.
That
You
actually
still heard the normal audio in the background, which was really stupid. And
that actually
It was
sounds
like-
like it
So
would
when-
actually be kind of funny if it kind of so
Yeah,
bad
So
that it's
how-
good.
At what point did you go from that to the the King and Link picking mushrooms thing?
oh yeah, so there's this guy called what's his name again? Moto 200 Alt.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he made this video that has a few 100,000 views, I think. The King is the Internet.
Yeah.
And I used to watch him, and I really wanted to make something like in the style of him, so of his videos. So there was this one time I managed to get my hands on the Kiro Bomber Zelda CDI GIFs, and that's when I realized that I could actually put Zelda CDI characters on top of other backgrounds. That's what made me want to do something. So what I did was I began just playing around with other backgrounds. So the main premise of my first animated story YTP was just to play around with other backgrounds. So I didn't use any CDI backgrounds at all. I just took random images from Google and
Yeah.
I went from there basically.
So then, what about you, Dom? Then, what's your story of how you first
My
discovered?
story. That's a good question. I can't actually quite remember, but it was probably through like being into Nintendo things and finding the CDI games. Probably through that. I remember, like, I don't know how old I was. Like it was probably like 2009 or so. So I'd have been 11.
Mhm.
Watching things like the King gets a car, and I think what was it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the King gets a car. And there was another one. It was a Mario Head one. He's allergic to chocolate milk or something like that. And it
Yeah.
had like a SpongeBob clip in it. And
Yeah,
that was one I did, but then I stopped. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I don't know if I've ever. I think the Mario Head as like a main source. I don't know if I've ever actually even seen a full YouTube poop that just uses the Mario Head. I think that was.
Oh
Just,
yeah, well I used to watch. That was. I remember finding them very, very funny at that age because I was only 11,
Uh-huh.
and obviously anything was funny.
Yeah.
But then I stopped watching them until it was I was at school, probably like I'll say 2013, maybe,
Uh-huh.
and it was like, oh right, no, yeah, 2012, that was it. It was a friend of mine somehow at school. Somehow we got talking about it, and he watched them as well, and they were Mama Luigi ones, and so I started watching them again. And we were talking about them, and then at some point in that, I figured out where I could download the source from Yoshi Art, where the old recordings that everyone used to use of those episodes are from.
Yeah.
And I discovered I could put them in Windows Movie Maker on my computer, which was a Windows XP, wasn't very good. And so that was what I did, and then I made one, and then I made a channel and put it on there, and it was terrible. But
Is
it's
that
a shame I don't actually still. Hey,
I was just gonna say, is that your current channel, Nintendom64, or is that an older channel?
Yeah, it's my current channel, but none of those videos are on it, and I deleted them. I wish I hadn't, to be honest, because that one, it was, from what I can remember,
I
it
deleted
was so
a
bad.
bunch of old things as well.
Yeah.
I really
The first one,
regret
it was called,
deleting
what
my
was it
stupid-
called? It was called YouTube Poop, Mama Luigi Rescues Gay Luigi, or something, and it was like, this Mama Luigi thing was like a vague story of the CDI characters kidnapping Gay Luigi or something, and
Okay.
it didn't make any sense, and nothing in it was any good from what I can remember, but I wish I still had it just to laugh at it, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that was kind of something we started talking about in the last episode, about how I think I started talking about it, but I never finished my complete thought. But I think it's important to keep your older videos. I know there are some people who like to delete or unlist their older videos, and I think it's important to keep your older content up so people can see how you've improved. You can't judge improvement if you haven't seen what it used to be like.
Yeah, I wish I still had them, but it was some point after I was still doing those for months, and it was like mainly for my friend at school, and we used to laugh at them. We both found, just stuff like "die" funny back then.
You
And
think,
it was at some point in that I found in my recommended videos CS188's what was it? Michael becomes increasingly explicit, and that was how I found the Michael Rosen source, which I then went on and did a lot more with.
mm-hmm. Do you think you would ever consider remaking some of your older videos if you remember enough about them?
I did for Email's Saucy Stories collab. I did at one point consider remaking the Mama Luigi Rescues Gay Luigi thing as like a proper story thing, but I didn't get very far with it.
Okay.
So maybe at some point.
Yeah, you had a bunch of ideas at one point. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember you shifting through a bunch of them.
Yeah. Before I got to the Dinner Time and Space one, which I'm surprised it did as well as it did, because it was like my 7th or 8th attempt, and I thought this probably isn't going to go anywhere.
Yeah,
it ended up being like one of the best things I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It's honestly one of the best YouTube poops that I've seen. I know. I
think it's, to be honest, I could make it a lot better now. Like, there's things that I did in it, I think that just lazy editing. I could do it better now, but it is what it is.
Yeah, well, I kind of think everybody, anytime a video of somebody's gets big, I think the person who made it always thinks, I could have done that so much better. Because I don't remember the quote where it's from. I don't even remember if it was like about movies or books or something like that. But there was a quote somewhere from somebody who said that I think it was maybe about movies, about how films never get finished; they just get abandoned, and that's kind of. I think kind of
was that George Lucas? It might have been George Lucas.
I think it might have been George Lucas.
It
kind of sounds like something you would say, but I do think that's kind of true actually with a lot of different things like that.
Yeah. So you're saying I need to remake that video and add CGI Jar Jar Binks?
Yes, you definitely need to.
Yeah. Right, got it.
Yeah, but I know with my entry, speaking of the Saucy Stories collab, I remember I only went through, I think, 2 different ideas. There was, of course, the King's Nostalgia Trip, which I still haven't finished yet, but I do want to get that finished as soon as possible. But then I had another idea. I kind of kept it a secret because I think I might still do it at some point.
Yeah, didn't you mention at one point, like, doing it based on an existing story, like, what was it, Kulu Ataku's Michael Rosen Grinch thing?
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, it was that. But I know I kept it a secret because I don't like to spoil things. But I know that not a whole lot of people really listen to these podcasts, so I guess I can say what it is. So gives people something. They'll get something out of this. But it was going to be an adaptation, like a Michael Rosen was going to be the star of it, an adaptation of it was from, I think, the 60s. There's this really terrible animated version of The Hobbit. It was only made because the people who owned the film rights to it wanted to keep the rights to it so they could sell it later. And so I think it was actually made by like the guy who made Tom and Jerry or something like that. But it wasn't even animated. It was just like a bunch of pictures, and the story was really shortened down to like 10 minutes long, and it was completely terrible. But I wanted to make a Michael Rosen version of that, but I didn't make it very far at all. I think I have like 2 sentences that are sentence mixed before I decided to just go do a completely original story.
I don't think I'd heard of that. The
No,
Hobbit
I
thing.
never even told you that.
I'm not talking about the YouTube poop. I'm talking about the Hobbit adaptation.
Oh, really?
I don't think I'd ever heard of that.
Huh. Well, I'll look it up, and I'll link to it in the Skype chat. You guys can watch it when we're done with the call. But yeah,
Send link.
yes, yeah. But I mean, it's really, to call it bad is almost giving it too much credit. It's not even trying. Let me see if I can. I want to say it was 1968.
Yeah.
Hopefully the Skype chat will actually work for me this time.
What do you mean?
Remember last time it wasn't working right?
No.
Oh yeah, well it wasn't working right last time.
Oh. Okay, it's 1966.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Oh.
it almost seems like it almost feels like if you've ever seen one of those things where they take like illustrations from kids' books and have narrators reading it, and they sometimes like animate the camera to make it shake or whatever, or zoom in on stuff. It's like exactly like that, but it's yeah. Okay, I found it. Let me paste the link in here. And like I said, you guys can watch that later. And if for the people listening, if you want to see it, just look up The Hobbit 1966, and you'll be able to find it. But I guess there was actually on the topic of The Hobbit, I guess there was also like a German version made or something like that.
What?
A German, I think, or was it German or? Actually, I think it was Russian. A Russian version of The Hobbit in like the 80s or something like that.
Huh. I don't think I heard that either.
Yeah, it was. Before the movies came out, I thought there was just the old cartoon, and then the movies. But I guess there's actually more.
Yeah.
I don't know about any of this because I'm not
I don't. What were we on about
Lord of the
before
Rings
this?
anyway.
Okay. Yeah, I was just thinking that.
What were we on about? Oh, we were on about your Saucy Stories entries before that, weren't we?
Yeah. Well, it was.
Oh, yeah.
It was just. It was going to be an adaptation of that story.
Oh,
and
that could be good.
Yeah, I think that was the only idea I had, but it was I just didn't get to working on it because I have a tendency to put off doing projects until it's like way too late, and I have to really work on it in like just a few days. Like I think the opening to the King's Nostalgia Trip that I eventually made for the entry, I think I made that in like a month or something like that, even though I had like all summer to make it.
Speaking of which,
That's pretty good. That's pretty good for a month.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, actually.
It looks way better now that I've actually taken the time, because I keep just adding more and more detail to it because I keep finding more and more things wrong with it, so I keep tweaking it, and it's come a long way.
It's a thief and the cobbler of YTP.
I hope that doesn't mean it's going to get cancelled.
I kind of want to apologize to you, Jimmy, because the nostalgia trip, the King's Nostalgia Trip, it's like one of the most fantastic YTPs I've ever seen. So I really should have put it way further into in the beginning of the collection rather than later.
I've always thought of it the later entries are the better ones. At least that's the way that I.
Yeah, maybe you could.
Well, I mean, you accepted in the collab, so you don't have to apologize for anything. It's fine the way it was. I think you put it. Didn't you put it like right at the middle or something like that?
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, you were going to put it at the start, do you remember? Because you had that error of like his. You forgot for one of the map scenes to change his avatar to.
Oh yeah, exactly. There is actually proof in the collab that I was thinking of putting your entry as the number 2 on the number 2 spot to begin with, because after 256 Pi's entry, you can see his profile picture changed into yours because I did a little mistake and forgot to change that one to 256 Pi's.
Yeah,
So,
I do remember seeing that, but it didn't.
I did apologize for that in the comment as well. I remember, but
Yeah, but I mean that's fine. I don't think it's really possible to make a video without making at least one minor mistake.
yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, it was a really good presentation for that collab.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the best collabs I've seen. Best for stuff that happens in between entries, because I know a lot of collabs just jump from one entry to the next, but that actually that actually has a plot running through it, which is actually makes a lot of sense.
I was thinking I wanted to make like some kind of different type of presentation from aside from just switching into the next entry. And Dom, you helped me out a ton with it. It would have been
I did that scene because you said you want to do the Smash Bros intro, but you know how to get it there to the map thing.
Oh
so
yeah, exactly.
So I said I'd do this thing in between to get it between them, which is why they're playing Smash Bros at the start, and then
that made it so much better.
Yeah.
I think if it weren't for that, I would probably just have made the Smash Bros intro and then just skip ahead to the map thing, just unexplained, and that would have been much worse, I think.
So I guess on the topic of the Sourcey Stories collab, do you have any plans of doing a sequel to that?
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned that to me before. In fact, we've got plans for the intro as well, haven't we?
Oh yeah.
If you want to mention that, but
yeah, we have been planning to make an intro based on the DK rap for the sequel.
Yeah, the Donkey Kong 64 intro, but with like it all about YTP characters.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I actually had an idea a while back. I think it was when Siva Gunner first started and did like the DK rap stuff. I had an idea to do a parody of the DK rap about YouTube poop characters and then animating it in like the Nintendo64 style.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we had a few ideas. I think I wrote them all down. We had a few ideas for lyrics and things like we'd obviously change DK into the king, so the coconut gun could be the dinner blaster.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that.
So I don't know when exactly I will.
And that's it. We had do you remember we said Cranky doing the decks could be Mark Sabine with his sort of a bit sexy hands.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So probably at first I was thinking sometime this fall or something, but I'm not sure anymore since we have a few other projects running like that. So.
Yeah, well, you were going to do it right after the birthday collab, weren't you? You postpone it because we're doing the sequel to the Ready Adventure, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. So at this moment, I'm just putting it aside for now, but it will happen sometime.
Okay.
In the near future, I should say.
Are you still there, Logan?
Yeah. Why?
I was just wondering. You haven't said anything.
Didn't I just talk like a few minutes ago?
Well, yeah, but that was a few minutes ago. Like you haven't said anything for a few minutes.
Okay.
Just making sure you're still alive.
I said we prepared. Sorry.
I was gonna say, is the Skype audio just glitching out for me, or is that happening to everybody?
I'm getting a few minor glitches here and there, like audio's kind of stuttering, lagging here and there, but it's not
Making
super
one
bad.
GP out of itself.
Yeah, you can still make out what people are saying though.
All right, so
I can actually.
I get that whenever I use Skype.
Yeah, I think for the most part that's just something that happens with Skype. It's kind of hard to avoid.
Yeah.
I wonder if
I hear you all well, at least. So
okay.
it's no problem on my end. Sorry, I interrupted you. I interrupted you. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't remember what I was going to say. I think I was just going to try to say something to keep from going to awkward silence.
Oh, I was going to say
Okay.
we made sure both of us to prepare. You know, you said you'd ask for 3 videos from us for other people to watch.
Yeah, I think that's
that.
That's something I think we'll save for the end. But I guess I will. I'll just kind of.
Okay. I didn't know if you wanted to do it at the start, but forgot or something. So I thought I'd remind you.
Yeah, I think I was going to remind you guys to pick out 3 of your uploads to recommend for people who've never watched your videos before, and then we'd bring it up at the end. So that's kind of what we do at the end. But
okay.
Okay.
All right.
Shall we have a look at the questions if we've got any then?
All right. Yeah. We'll go through Twitter questions, and we each tweeted something. Since we all tagged each other, it'll all show up in my notifications. So I'll go through.
I didn't tag anybody in mine.
Oh, you didn't? Well, how come I'm getting the one? Oh, because I was tagged in that question. Did you get any more other than the?
No, not just the one.
Okay, so I got that one.
I've got quite a few for some reason.
Huh?
But a lot of them don't tag you lot. They've only got one tagged in it, so I'll have to read them out when we get to them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll read through the ones that are in my notifications, and if there are any more in any of your notifications that I didn't get, then we'll read those off. But the first one is from Levi Peabody. Do you know who? I don't know who this is. No, it's I don't know, somebody from Twitter. And does Jimmy D. Pooper have a cartoon crush? More shoe. I'm just stealing Dom's joke right now. He said that before we started. But yes, more shoe is.
There's no record of it.
Okay, more shoe is my waifu. Can somebody please give me?
It makes your life a little richer.
Exactly. Can somebody please give me some art of Jimmy D. X Morshoe? I would love
No,
that.
don't.
Oh yeah.
Actually, yes, please don't. Actually,
Rule 34.
okay. Next question.
Well, my cartoon. My waifu is obviously Impa.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Impa. Might as well.
Oh my.
What about you, Logan? Who's your cartoon crush?
Gay Luigi.
All right.
Oh yeah, of course.
And what about you, Dom?
Yeah. Dr. Ivo Robotnik.
Okay. From
he's a bit sexy.
Yes. They very much.
Show that gif of him sitting on the stool in front of the piano.
Yes.
You know the one, Eamon.
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know why the animators love to put an emphasis on his butt all the time, but they definitely
you blame them.
Yeah, I guess that's true. All right. Next question from the Master Poop. Favorite Michael Rosen quote. Guess we'll start with you, Dom. What's your favorite Michael Rosen quote?
Favorite Michael Rosen quote. Does it have to be an actual quote or like a YTP quote? Is it like an actual quote from him?
You can go with both. Just favorite quote from the poems and favorite quote from the YTPs.
Favorite quote from the poems. I don't want to go for an obvious one, so I'm trying to think of something. You might have to come back to me. Hang on. Do everyone else, and I'll think of something.
Okay.
Well, I have this. I don't even know exactly what the quote is, but it's something. Oh yeah. They were both made of glass, because I really like to use the arse part.
Yeah.
So I think that's my answer.
Okay. What about you, Logan? Oh wait, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say I always joke around with my friend about the arse part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. What about you, Logan? What's your favorite Michael Rosen quote?
I honestly don't think I have one.
I don't think have you ever even used Michael Rosen in a YouTube poop before?
I used them in a YTPMV. I started working on a few Michael Rosen YouTube poops and just never finished them. So technically, no. But
Well, the only thing I can think of is I know in your Mama Luigi poop, you zoomed in on Luigi's butt and had him yell "butt," and
oh yeah,
that was it.
yeah. Because for some reason he had a butt, like you clearly see his butt.
Oh wait, I've got mine now.
Okay.
I've got mine from his best quote from his poems is, and that's when we get into really big trouble.
Oh yeah. That's a good
Okay, we got the net.
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Okay, we got the net.
Yeah, that's in fact just that on its own is the best quote from him.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's at the end of me and my brother. He forgot to cut out the bit of him talking to whoever was recording it.
Yeah.
And just ends with okay, we got the net.
Do you know if anybody's ever used that in YouTube poop before?
Yes, mine and emails friend Knight of Rosen uses it quite a lot.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, he does. I don't remember in what exact context.
I was going to use it in a video once, but I cut the scene that I was going to use it in.
Okay. Yeah, it's not obviously not very long, so it's you can't really find too many uses for it.
I was going to have it was going to be in Rosen Venture Part 9, which I don't know if you've seen, but it was going to be like a police officer talking into their walkie-talkie saying it.
Oh yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I thought it would fit, but I didn't do that scene in the end.
Yeah. And as for me, favorite Michael Rosen quote, honestly, I think it's kind of a weird choice. It's not really a funny choice, but I think, honestly, one of my favorite quotes from, I'll just go with the whole video because it's not very long, a ball, where, I don't know why, I think it's kind of an interesting way to end it. Well, yeah, I mean, that's probably my favorite quote from that, but I mean, just the ending, the part where he says, "If I used to laugh, why did I stop?" You know what I mean? I don't quite know why. I just like that idea of why did you used to find it funny and not anymore?
Mm.
I don't know.
I think my favorite of his newer videos that I do want to use some days. He did the version of Lewis Carroll's Jabberwocky, which was a poem I really liked anyway, and it's just full of nonsense words.
Oh, yeah?
But I want to use that at some point in something.
Yeah, I meant to get to watching his newer poems that he's been doing. Like, I added all of them to my watch later, so there's like 40 or 50 of them or something like that, and I just never got around to watching them. There's just so many of them now.
Yeah, I was downloading all of them in case I'd need to use them up to a certain point, but there's so many, and I'd probably never use half of them. Well, over half.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's honestly about making Michael Rosen YouTube poops. I think that's honestly the main reason why I don't really like to make Michael Rosen YTPs anymore, because there's just too much to choose from. When you're
do you know? Sorry, I was going to say for sentence mixing. Do you know about the Michael Rosen transcripts?
I've heard of it, but I don't know. I don't personally like that idea. I mean, I don't care if other people use it or anything like that.
I mean, they're really useful, like, because you just open them in a notepad document. You can just search whatever word you want. So if you think, oh god, I know this quote, but I don't know which poem it's from.
Yeah.
So it's good for stuff like that.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure I'll probably at some point end up using that. I know for the longest time I didn't want to use the CDI GIFs because I just kind of thought that takes the fun out of it. But then, with the King's Nostalgia Trip, I eventually realized I was going to have to do that. And now that I have them, I don't know why I didn't have them before. So I'm sure I'll probably eventually get the Michael Rosen transcript. But either way, it's with sentence mixing with Michael Rosen, there's just so much to choose from that you feel like you could always make it better than it is. And that's just kind of...
it's completely different, I find, from doing CDI. Because CDI, there's so little of it, they end up like playing backwards and doing all sorts of tricks to make the sounds that you want, whereas Rosen, there's like every single word pretty much is like 4 or 5 to choose from.
So this is why I at first liked to sentence mix the King and Link, for example, more than Michael Rosen, because I could actually just put it all on my mind. Like, I could just memorize everything they say, so I could just go exactly where I needed to without even thinking about it. But when it came to Michael Rosen, I was like, how the hell am I supposed to do sentence mixing here? So what I did, because at the time I had no clue that the transcript existed at all. So
you've got that compendium, haven't you?
Yeah, that's what I call it, at least. I don't even know if that means what I think it does. But what I did was that I put every poem from Michael Rosen, at least the ones with the white and grey backgrounds, I put every one of those in Sony Vegas, and I listened to it all in one sitting and cut every phrase into one piece. So I rendered every phrase he said into one individual video and saved them into a folder. So that way I could search for words I needed. So I have a folder consisting of thousands of Michael Rosen clips that I searched.
Hundreds of them.
Exactly. But now that I have the transcript, I use both. So I search for the words in the transcript because it's a bit more finicky to search with the Windows search functions. So it's much easier to use the transcript and then search for the exact word I need in my folder, because sometimes I need like one particular little note from one word, and I can search for something that's in the middle of one word in the folder, because Windows is stupid. So I can't just put one letter and it will find the middle of a word. For example. So I use both, basically.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was going to say that it shows that it's a completely different experience from Rosen to CDI, because the Plums Joker, who, when he did his scene for The Adventure, he's one of pretty much the best Michael Rosen sentence mixers that there is. And he hated sentence mixing the King for it. He absolutely hated doing it because it's just completely different, and you've got to listen to everything backwards, and even then it probably won't sound very natural.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think with CDI though, I think one of the reasons why I prefer it over Rosen is because I think it feels more like a challenge. It's more like a game. You feel like you've accomplished something when you get a decent sentence out of Harkinian than if you got a decent sentence out of Michael Rosen. If anything, with Michael Rosen, you think
that's true.
With Michael Rosen, you think there has to be a way to make this sound better. But with Harkinian, it's you just feel like you accomplished something. Like I said. Unless
you listen to I Teach Vader, who I don't know how he does that.
I think I don't know if I've ever heard a single one of his sentence mixing, at least in his more recent videos, that didn't sound perfectly natural.
Actually, I think in the King's Nostalgia Trip, that sentence mixing is like at least on par with I Teach Vader, or maybe even better.
Well, it's very different to his style, but it's very
but
pinpoint
it's
accurate.
so clear.
I actually
didn't even have to think at all about what they said.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a hard balance when you're doing sentence mixing. I try to get a decent balance between making it sound clear, but also not making it sound like a robot. Trying to make it sound natural, like making the. I know whenever I do sentence mixing, right away what I end up doing is making like each syllable more or less the same length, just kind of unintentionally, because that's just kind of how I sentence mix the word, and that makes it very easy to tell what they're saying, but it doesn't sound at all natural. So then I have to try to, shorten some down, then whatever, just try to make it sound more natural. But I did have somebody tell me that it didn't sound good to slow it down like that, because then it just makes them sound drunk or whatever. But I don't know. I guess it just depends on who's listening to it.
It sounded a lot good for me, but.
And I know I did.
I think the best.
Sorry. What were you going to say?
I was going to say something on a related topic, but you go first.
Okay, I was going to say for some later scenes in the King's Nostalgia Trip, there's like a whole sentence where I think I ended up having to basically make every single word from scratch. There was no. I didn't build around another sentence, so it sounded completely robotic and just unnatural, and so I actually had to record myself speaking that line and then adjust the timing of the sentence with the way that I said it.
Yeah. I think the best for elaborate sentence mixing, especially in DI, has to be Mighteyes 91.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at... I don't know if you've seen Link and the Hyrule Gang 12, but, like, there's a whole speech the king gives to Link about bullying that's, like, longer than any of his dialogue in the actual game, and it's all... it's all the words are completely not in the actual source. They're completely made by her.
Yeah, I know. The thing with her sentence mixing though is it's very unique to her style. Like it's honestly,
it's very eccentric as well. The way she has people say things like "corridor" and "story-die" and things like that.
Yeah, but which kind of on the fact that it's all very fast, and it's very difficult. For as good as it is, it can be very difficult to follow along with if you don't have the subtitles with it.
Yeah, well, I've heard it so many times I just know what they're saying without it now.
Yeah. That's one series that I'm pretty sure I'd heard of, but I'd never actually seen until. Actually, I think it might have been you who recommended it to me. And
I think it was.
I think it was like the beginning of the year.
In the comments of your top YTPs of 2016, I think it was in the comments to that.
Yeah.
Some comment chain that led to that.
Yeah, but
I think in Mighteyes sentence mixing, the only thing that makes it sometimes hard to follow is just that it's so fast-paced.
Everything about the side is pretty
if
fast-paced.
it wasn't that fast, it would be very clear, I think. It's already really clear anyway, if you can just focus, because so many things happen at once all the time. So
it is.
Yeah, but I think that kind of just adds to the charm of it. I think that just kind of gives it its own personality.
I still notice new things when I watch Link and the Hyrule Gang 12 every time. I notice like a new detail in the background. Like I noticed, in that shot when there's Michael saying, "I'm talking," and all that, and there's the shots of the class, like one of the children for like a split second has like Link's face put onto them, but only for a split second.
Yeah.
Really? I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I definitely need to go and rewatch that series again. I think I watched them all in one sitting, and I definitely want to watch them again because I think they're just that good.
Well, the earlier ones are a bit weird, but they're still funny.
Yeah, I guess
you can definitely say it's still. You can see how much she improved from the first episode.
Yeah, in 12, like she redid the whole animation of that random woman hugging Link to be the king hugging Link.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
insane amount.
I think, I mean, I could be wrong since I only watched it one time, the series one time, but I think it was, I seem to remember it was around like 5 or 6 that they really started to get good.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like
and
that.
it really, I think it's inspired a lot of my current stuff, I think.
Yeah, I can definitely see that, especially with like the opening to the Sourcey Stories collab and your entry to that collab too. You can really kind of see the fast-paced editing style.
Yeah, and the that what was that one? That fillerish one I did, the door-to-dooring one with Link knocking on. That was very much inspired by something she did. I got a few comments saying that it was similar to her kind of style, but obviously far less fast-paced.
Uh-huh.
I've been about doing something very much inspired by Mecha too, but I don't know if it will ever happen. Right now, I've been kind of not too motivated to make anything.
Yeah, I've been in that boat for a while.
Working on.
Yeah, I've been in that boat for a while. I sort of gave up on all my side projects that I was about to start and focused on the main one that I'm doing, which is like the mini series that I'm gonna start.
Oh yeah. From the teaser in the Mix of the Future.
Yeah, the teaser in our 71st birthday collab entry.
What even was the question? I don't even remember.
We were.
Oh, it was favourite Michael Wilson quote, and then we somehow.
Yeah.
I got another question.
Well, we can keep moving up the list on mine.
But you weren't tagged in this one, though.
Yeah, no, but I said it before we did the questions that I'd go through my notifications, and then you guys would go through yours and get any questions I missed. But this one comes from Hurricane Ego, or Ego, I mean, not Ego, who asked, most underrated YTPer / newcomer in your opinion?
So...
I've got a few,
so many.
I might have to go and actually look through my subscriptions.
I can think of at least 2. Actually, I guess I can't think of what the one person's name is off the top of my head, but I know I watched one of their videos recommended to me by someone on Twitter. They only have like 19 subscribers. See if I can find their channel.
Well, I don't have any in my subscriptions that are that small. I think 500 is the smallest ones that are in my subscriptions.
Well, I have another one too. Who's at like 200 or something like that.
That one you mentioned on Twitter a while back, Jimmy. What's that one? That Doffwint or whatever he's called. He's severely underrated.
Yeah.
Considering how he's at like Syriac levels of editing.
Yeah, he uses I'm pretty sure he uses After Effects, which it seems like a lot of people who use After Effects, I don't use After Effects, so I don't know exactly who does and doesn't use it.
I've used it at college for it was like a motion graphic thing, but I wasn't very good with it.
Okay. It seems like a lot of people who use it though it all tends to kind of look more or less the same. It seems like a lot of people use it for like the really like trippy visuals, like the flashing colors and like the that kind of look to it, which isn't necessarily bad. It gets kind of old after a while. But with Doffrent, it uses it in a way that's I've never seen used before, and it's very.
Well,
very
have you seen it? It was familiar to me because have you not seen the animated Syriac?
Who? You
should look that up. Syriac is like a YouTube sort of animator who uses After Effects and basically often films footage of himself of like animals or what have you, and will put it into After Effects and create insane sort of animations. That bit like what's it called? Cows and cows and cows and cows and cows, and it's like cows in a field, the dancing, and then the bobbing up and down, and they turn into spiders, and it's just bizarre but extremely well edited and very similar to Doffrent's style.
Huh.
Yeah, I was actually looking. I just found one. I was like, oh yeah, this person only has 18 subscribers. I'm one of them. Squared Egg.
Squared egg.
I think she just started like a few months ago. Oh wait, no, 6 months ago. But
Okay.
I remember because she joined a collab that I was in. So I think it's a she. I'm not entirely sure. I seem to remember hearing that.
Okay. And you said that was squared egg?
Yeah, Squared Egg.
Okay. Okay, yeah, this person, they have 24 subscribers now. The name is Philip Metropolitan. It's kind of a strange name, but, yeah, well, let me see, how long have they been around? Let me just see when this video was uploaded. The first video is from August 31st, 2015. But he uploaded an Arthur YouTube poop a week ago, and I wouldn't say it's necessarily like an amazing YouTube poop, but for somebody with only 24 subscribers, it's really, really good.
I mean, it's this thing with like the. Usually, it's. I don't know. I don't know how I would word this without sounding. I don't know, I'm not sure what I'm trying to say here.
What were you trying to say?
I don't even know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that it for underrated / newcomer?
Yeah. Email. Have you
I
got?
think-
Have you
I
got
think
any
I want-
email?
Yeah.
I'm still.
I have a bunch of them, but I guess I shouldn't mention everyone. But actually, I'm not quite sure who's underrated and who's not. I don't keep
Well-
track of everyone's subscribers.
Well, I think you're underrated.
Yeah,
Really?
definitely.
I've been getting a huge boost in subscriber gains lately.
Oh yeah, hasn't
Yeah.
your Ultimate Showdown of YTP Destiny, didn't that just get a huge spike in views at one point?
Yeah, it did.
Because it was recommended from the original or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was simultaneously that it got featured on the real Ultimate Showdown video, and also that there was this other popular YouTuber who made some kind of Smash Bros parody of the
Yeah.
song.
And also did the same every single Teletubby line by pure coincidence.
Yeah, exactly. He used the exact same line that I did in my video. So some people have come on to comment on my video that I stole his.
Yes. You travelled
line.
into the future.
Exactly. Even though mine was like half a year before his, people are still saying I stole the Teletubby line.
And for the record, you didn't.
Yeah, I didn't.
And
It was-
you made a time machine out of a fire extinguisher and a blended clock, didn't you?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Went to the future, stole it, and then came back.
Yeah, that's it. Anyway, I kind of want to mention Fafnissor, I think.
Oh yeah, that
God,
one's.
yes,
Um,
definitely. Definitely
He's,
him.
he has like 300 subscribers or something, but he's really great.
Yeah, he's really good at
He made
animated.
one of the best entries for the birthday collab this year.
Yeah,
I forget how I found him. I think it was something like Chris Reagan shared his Chris Reagan YTP on Twitter or something.
Yeah.
That's how I found him.
but he's really good. He was in the first Ready Adventure. He was really good in that as well.
I know I've definitely heard the name before. I don't know if I've ever watched any of his videos before.
Well, you've seen it if you saw the Ready Adventure, which I think you did, didn't you? He did the
Oh, yeah.
scene on top of the airplane where they're fighting Professor Polyakov, and then the airplane starts falling and Gornam is a pilot. That bit he did.
Okay.
And then that scene is followed up by another underrated white peer who's
Abe Powder.
Abe
Yes.
Powder. He's really great as well.
Okay.
So
So
it's probably one of the best scenes, easily.
I'm still not sure what I would consider underrated. I was kind of just like going through less than
I've got
500.
one. I've got one. Not technically in terms of subs, but like in actual views that he gets. I think Melee Mario 720 is really, really good, but doesn't get that much attention.
yeah, and he's been around for quite a while too, making YTPs.
Yeah, like 2008, I think.
Yeah.
And yet it's only got 1,800 subs in like that many years.
Yeah.
And if I can just quickly mention two more, it's a me RBN1.
Okay.
Is that his name?
I was going to mention.
And also Aerodynamic Watermelon. But he was mentioned in, I think both of them were mentioned in the Noise Drinks Q&A.
I didn't watch that. I haven't watched that yet.
You should. It's actually pretty good.
Is it? Alright.
Yeah.
Alright, so
Okay.
ready to go to the
I think
next
that's
question?
Yeah, sure.
Alright.
Yep.
This one comes from Savvy, who asked, I'm assuming, asking about you two. How much do they love each other? With a smiley face.
Too much.
Can only imagine.
So should we ask for fan art of you two shipped together too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
That's just the King and Dipper.
Oh yeah. Yes.
The King, yes.
Sure.
Dipper with the face.
Just put
that I
Dipper's
use.
face on Zelda when they laugh.
No, just put the Alex Kidd and Shinobi World moon face that I used on my Abby. Put that on
Oh
it.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Next question, I guess this is just kind of for me and Logan from the Plums Joker. Or, okay, he says, do any of you think it would be a good idea to have my dumb arse on as a guest?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's all up to you, Logan.
I think both.
I
When
don't
I
know who that
mentioned
is, so...
Do you not?
What was his name?
The Plums Joker? Or
Yeah,
Plums
Brad.
Joker?
Wait, I thought he said some username.
No.
Oh, have him on as a guest?
Yeah. He's asking
Oh,
if it
yeah,
could be a
sure.
good idea.
Yeah, it'd be a good idea.
Okay. So,
Both him and Melee Mario 720 mentioned they'd like to be on when I
Oh, I
talked
see.
about it.
I see. I thought that was a username. I was like, I don't know who that is.
yeah, I know we have so many different people planned out that we want to have on here. I almost think we might have to start recording a new episode every 2 weeks instead of every 4 weeks. Oh, I think I forgot to mention that at the beginning of this. I mentioned that in the last episode that we're doing it every 4 weeks now. Because I know there's another person I invited on the show, Master Josh. I don't know if you've heard of him.
I've heard of him.
Yeah,
I've not seen it.
I asked him if he'd want to be on, and I said we might have somebody planned out for next time, so it'd have to be the time after that, and I realized that'd be September 2nd. So I think we might need to start doing this every other week, because there's just so many different people. We'd only be, if we do it every 4 weeks, it's only 13 in a year.
Oh yeah.
So you went off for a bit, mate. I don't know if anyone else did, but you just sort of everything went silent for a bit.
Oh, it did?
Me.
Ah.
Hopefully it won't come up in the recording.
Well, I'm
No, it wasn't. I heard everything you said, so I don't think.
Oh, that's alright.
okay. Yeah, and I'm recording. My part's being recorded straight onto my computer. So even if I went completely silent for both of you, unless it's the microphone itself doing that, then it should still come up in the recording. And then the last question from Decable Guy, kind of already talked about this. What got you guys into YTP? Although I guess we've never, me and Logan haven't talked about it yet on Poopcast, so I guess we'll do that then. Logan, what got you into YTP?
Let's see. I think it was I don't remember. It was around 2008 or 9, something like that. where I saw Mario and Luigi travel through time.
Yeah.
That was Walrus Guy?
Yep. Yeah,
That's-
we both saw that around the same time, which would have been. I'm pretty sure that was 2009 because I think we figured that, or we found that after I started my first YouTube channel, which was back in late 2008. So it might have been late 2008, but I think it was more likely 2009.
That was around the earliest I can remember watching, and actually, I if you go back and watch that, it's actually still a pretty good video.
Yeah.
It holds up pretty well, and I remember it was 2013. I hadn't created my current channel yet, but I made some Windows Movie Maker YouTube poops. I think I still have a few of them on my old laptop.
You need to upload
And then I made
those.
And then I made some in Vegas, which were on my old computer, which is now dead forever, so can't get those back. But then it was, and then 2014 was around the time I was like, oh, my videos are actually good now, and I started uploading them. But now I look back from the stuff from 2014, I'm like, wow, that's terrible.
Yeah, it's for me, getting into YouTube poop, it's pretty much the same thing, or very similar anyway. First discovered, I don't know if it was the first YouTube poop I ever watched, Mario and Luigi Travel Through Time, but it's definitely the first one that I remembered enjoying and watching more than one time. But then the thing you didn't mention was that we kind of stopped watching YouTube poops. Like, we didn't really watch them that much. We'd watch maybe 2 or 3 a year
That's true.
Up until Mom and Dad moved to North Dakota with you, because I was at that point I just stayed here because I had just graduated, so I was living here. But you moved up to North Dakota where you had nothing to do, and that's when you started to really get into YTP, and then you introduced me to The Things One, who was the first YouTube pooper that I started watching. I'd watched YouTube poops, but that was the first time I'd ever started watching a channel that was just dedicated to YouTube poops. And then what were you going to say?
I was going to say, I guess I could go into a little more detail there about, because I remember it was around the end of 2012, early 2013 when I started to get back into YouTube poop, but it was just like all really bad Windows Movie Maker YouTube poops that weren't even funny. Mm-hmm. Then I found The Things One, which eventually led to me finding True Remark, Emperor Lemon, a lot of the other big ones, and yeah, that's. I guess I didn't go into that detail, but.
Well, didn't you say you first, like, the reason why you first really got into YouTube poops was because, like when you really started watching a lot, you told me it was when you had a cold, and you wanted to clear out your nose, so you got some Kleenex and put them up to your nose and started watching YouTube poops and laughed so hard that you shot all the snot out of your nose.
This is true. I actually did this one time. Although I think that was after I already started to get into it.
Okay.
Like after I started watching The Things One.
Well, that makes for a better story, though.
Yeah, but I mean, it worked. But I remember when I first watched Lord of the Things. That was The Things One YouTube poop of Lord of the Rings, because I'd been watching a lot of Lord of the Rings YouTube poops at that time. I eventually came across that one. Mm-hmm. And come to think of it, I think that's really the only one that I can think of that was good. There were a few others, but I can't think of what they are off the top of my head. But
yeah.
And I remember I actually had trouble sleeping that night because I kept thinking about the video and laughing at it. Because that was like the first non-Windows Movie Maker YouTube poop I had watched in years since Mario and Luigi Travel Through Time.
Uh-huh.
Which I actually had kind of forgotten about up to that point, but I eventually did find it again, and then I remembered it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I actually that was on Lord of the Things. That was the first comment I ever left on a YouTube poop, and I actually found it and screen capped it. I wonder if I could find it. It's a really, really stupid comment. Looking back, I sound like a complete douchebag, but let me see. Oh, I found it. Let me see what I said. And this was this would have been, I think, 2013, or maybe 2012. If it was 2013, that'd be 4 years ago. So I would have been 18 when I left this comment, and it seems like a comment left by like a 12-year-old. But here's exactly what I said. I'm going to be honest. For a while at the beginning, I thought this was going to be another one of those crappy made by a 2-year-old who just reverses stuff YTP. But by the first "my mom" line, I had to continually pause and skip back to hear what I was missing because I was laughing. So I just said that reversing stuff isn't funny, but then I said that the joke that made me laugh so hard was a reversing joke. So, you know, where you reverse "my" after you put "my" and then reverse it, so it's "my mom."
Did I ever say? Have I ever told the story on any of the podcasts about my first YouTube poop?
No?
I don't know if I did. So what it was is I wanted to make a SpongeBob YouTube poop, but I couldn't find any SpongeBob episodes on YouTube, which it's still near impossible to do that. I don't even go to YouTube for SpongeBob sources anymore, unless if it's just like a clip. So what I ended up doing is I downloaded a YouTube poop, and then made a YouTube poop of the YouTube poop, and that was my first YouTube poop.
Yeah, I know you've told me that story before, but I don't know if you've told it on here before.
And I still have it, actually. I've thought about uploading it.
Is there anything even remotely good in it?
No, it's the worst thing I've ever made.
Oh, then we have to see it.
Yeah, I mean, eventually I'm gonna put it up eventually. Maybe in 2019 for my 5th anniversary.
Some things like that are just so bad that they're really funny.
Yeah.
And I think I even left in a few jokes that were in the original YouTube poop because it was literally just replacing words with other words from different sources that didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, people used to do that all the time with the CDI things back in the day.
I think it was something like, Gary, if you were a penis, you would tell me, right?
Yeah.
No.
I actually legitimately want to make like a full YouTube poop like that. Just I think it can actually be used in a way that's funny, but at the same time, I also think if you continually do it in a way that's not funny, it eventually becomes funny just because of how stupid it is.
I remember specifically the name, though. I still remember the name. It was SpongeBob is Terrified of Hobbits and Pingas. The name didn't even make sense.
It used to be like completely acceptable in YouTube poop to like sentence mix with any voice for any character.
Yeah.
So you would hear people sentence mixing the king using Link's and Zelda's voice and Ganon's voice, and maybe even something stupid like SpongeBob's voice or anything.
And there are still some YouTube poops that do that are actually really good. Like
you did that sometime, didn't you? I remember distinctly that tennis with NP Carlson. Didn't you do it with you at the computer? Use a few different voices of you talking to people at a door, or something like that.
Yeah,
it's very reminiscent of that old style.
Yeah, with the tennis, I think that might have been the first place that I used that, where I would use multiple different clips, and I think in certain senses, I think that can actually make it funnier. It definitely makes it a lot easier to do the sentence mixing, but I like I said, I think that was the first place I used it, and I know I'm going to be doing that in the next round of the tennis, because with the tennis match, it's just kind of it's very different from my other videos, but I have a lot of fun doing the tennis stuff.
I remember, back to my first YouTube poop, I remember why it took me so long before, why I created a new channel for YouTube poops was because I actually uploaded my first YouTube poop, and it got a copyright takedown within like the first hour. So it took me a long time before I started using SpongeBob again. Yeah. And now it's like I actually don't really get into much trouble with Viacom. Usually what they do is they just take away my ability to monetize, which I don't monetize anyway. So there was one video, it was chocolate with butts, where I had to actually mirror the video because it wouldn't, because it kept getting claimed.
Yeah.
And even then, eventually they found it and took away my ability to monetize, which I don't care about.
Yeah, I think whenever I use SpongeBob, I just kind of mirror it before I even start doing any editing, because I know I'm going to have to end up doing that eventually anyway.
Well, I mean, I guess you monetize your videos, so that's a little bit different, but it's not a big deal for me, because I don't monetize my videos, so...
Uh-huh. But speaking of really old videos, you remember? Have you ever seen my first YouTube poop I made? The king comes out of the closet.
Yeah, I remember that.
No,
I haven't.
I was talking to the other guys.
Ah,
I haven't.
No.
Oh, you haven't?
I think didn't you.
Nope.
You'd share it in some compilation that you did or something. I think I might have seen it in there.
Yeah, I uploaded it in a compilation. I'll just bring up the video quick so I can tell you exactly what the name is. But it was something like my unfinished and unreleased YouTube poops, where actually that technically wasn't the first YouTube poop I made. I mean, I kind of talked about it a little bit in that compilation, but it was the first one I ever made with the intention to upload it to YouTube, which I did on my old channel. It was up for maybe, I don't even know if it was up for a week before I decided to take it down because I didn't want to, well, at that time I was still unsure about if YouTube poops were even legal to make, which now, through research and whatever, I'm confident that they qualify as fair use, but at the time I wasn't, so I took it down eventually, and also other people had already made that, basically that exact same thing.
Yeah. All I remember about it was, didn't you have two characters kissing in it, and you used the more shoe line over it?
Yeah, I think that's...
And that's something you have done in a few things since then, haven't you?
Yeah,
Was that sort of like a homage to that?
Yeah, I did that in Zelda CDI Revisited.
Is that when like Impa kisses Link or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Link's about to kiss her, he's making... I used Morshu, I'm pretty
you
sure.
also do it with the princess and Gay Luigi in the Hotel Mario story thing you did.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I did that for Luigi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that scene with Impa, by the way, when she pulls out the photos in the drawer and those things.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you watched my commentary for my videos from that year, but that scene originally was going to be darker, but I think the main reason I changed it was just because I was too lazy to edit that part. I think I couldn't get the sentence mixing sounding right, actually. She was going to be looking at the picture, it's the picture of Harkinian and Zelda and Link with Harkinian and Zelda's faces X'd out, and she was going to say someday, and then pull down the picture, and in the drawer you can see she has like a gun or a knife or something like that, and say someday soon, and then it just fades to black or something like that. But I think it was a sentence mixing. I couldn't get soon sounding right. But I think it's funnier if it's taken a bit more seriously, just played out more like more dramatically.
Speaking of, if we go back to the question again, what got you guys into YTP?
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's not really a direct response to that question, but it made me think of something. You remember how I talked about that guy Ultra Moron before? The guy who sent me the Pingas file.
Oh yeah, yep.
So eventually what I did after I uploaded this stupid video, the one where I just put Pingas over every noun, I sent it back to him. I sent the link back to him and asked him, what do you think?
Yeah.
Like, look, I made a YTP. And he was like, yeah, well done.
Yeah.
I remember it so clearly. It was not until like a few years later I realized that I was just being stupid and he was just being nice.
Humoring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
So go back to the questions then, because I've got a ton that you aren't all tagged in. So.
Okay, well that's the end of the questions in my notifications. So.
Has anyone else got some that not everyone is tagged in? Because I've got a few.
I've got a couple.
Okay.
Alright.
You want me to go now? Or?
Yeah, you can go through your list.
Alright, Pallet asks, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
None. Just bite it.
12.
I haven't
Over
ever-
9,000 lol XD.
I
Why
haven't
Also-
ever tried a Tootsie Pop, so I have no idea.
Yeah.
And then also genuine question, best video you guys have done in your opinion.
Okay.
Ooh.
So should we? You think we should go through where we say our own personal favorite, and then everybody can say their favorite from that person?
Yeah, could do that.
Okay. So since it was a question to you, Logan, then you can go first. What's your own personal favorite video you've made?
I don't know if I mean, there's a few that I can think of. Spungle Sexy House Party. I thought that one was good.
You kind of cut out for a second there. Spungle
I
something?
I got it.
I said Spunglebert's Sexy House Party.
Okay,
That's one of them.
That's your
that's
newest
one of them.
one, isn't it?
Yeah, so just I'll list off a couple others because like I said, I can't really think of one. Yoshi makes Mama Luigi watch a terrible movie. I still think that one's one of my better ones.
Okay.
And Whimsy Jetzel reviews the Sonic Adventure games.
Okay.
Those I think like I don't know, one of those three is probably my favorite of mine.
I think my favorite of your probably Spanglebert's Sexy House Party.
I
Yeah.
I only recently
go with that.
started
Haven't
watching
been too
your
many.
videos, so but I think that one's really good.
my only issue is I kind of feel like I ended it just abruptly. I wish I would have added a little more to the end. That's kind of a problem I have with my Y2Ps. I just kind of don't know how to end them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen. There's one person. I guess going back to the underrated YTPers. There's another guy. I'm pretty sure it's I'm Bored 777. Let me just double check. I'm pretty much sure that's what his name is. But he makes.
Username sounds familiar.
Yeah. It's I'm Bored 777. But he makes really good videos. But the only problem is that, like his most recent one was actually really good, but it ended like it didn't really end. It just stopped. You know what I mean? Like it just completely stopped. And I think that's a really important thing. That's one thing I always try to make sure to do with my videos is to always end on a good joke, or at least it doesn't have to be like the best joke in the video, but at least end strong. Because most people are mostly going to remember the ending, and if you end on a good joke, people are more likely to remember it as being a good video.
There's someone I know who ended when he did videos, ended videos quite abruptly, but he did it in a very funny way. I thought it just sort of like there were story-based Rosen ones. He was R109, and he did, and a lot of them, like this one called what was it? Michael rescues the Queen of Holland, of like Michael going through a tower to rescue the Queen, and it ends just on like him just blowing someone up, and it just abruptly ends after the explosion.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't know. It's just the way he does it. It's funny because the video just sort of stops abruptly, and the whole point of it hasn't been met. I don't know how he did it, but it was funny the way he did it.
Yeah, I think if it's intended as a joke, ending abruptly, I think that can be pretty funny. But I mean, like with I'm Bored 777, it wasn't really even a joke. It's just kind of I'm sure there was a joke, but it wasn't. The cutting out abruptly wasn't part of the joke. It just kind of ended right after the joke. You know what I mean?
So are we gonna go through everyone else now?
Oh, yeah.
or-
Yeah. You want to go next, Dom?
Yeah. What is it? Favorite video of your own?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe mine and Emil's entry to the 71st, but Michael wasn't 71st birthday collab. I thought that came out really well.
I
Okay.
guess I still haven't watched that one.
I think I
No.
might have. I think.
It was about him, Michael, going back in time to stop the birthday collabs from ever happening in the first place, and then he gets sent to a future timeline of like a post-apocalyptic world where he is kept alive in cryogenic suspension just for the purposes of doing the birthday collabs every year.
Yeah, I did watch that. Now that you mention that.
Yeah,
I don't think I saw it.
Yeah,
No.
that one's really good, but honestly, I think I'd still have to go with Adventure Through Dinner Time in Space from you. I think
yeah.
the Mick to the
That one's
Future,
pretty
I
good.
think that's a pretty close second, but I still would have to go through an Adventure Through Dinner Time in
Yeah.
Space.
Yeah, I'd probably go with that one too.
Easily my most popular one will always be the Rosen Venture Part 9, but I'm not happy with that one at all anymore, to be honest.
Yeah?
So
I thought,
I'm actually, I have a hard time deciding which video of yours I think is the best one.
Mm.
I still really, really, really love Quest for Forehead Rosen. And
oh god,
also-
that was my very first proper
Yeah.
story. I think.
Yeah, and it's still,
And you can really
still
tell.
really good.
Yeah, cheers.
And also,
I can barely watch it now, to be honest. But
well, of course, I do think Rosen Venture 9 is amazing as well, and Dinner Time and Space too, and also Back to the Future. I think your parts in that video were what made it great, really.
I think the opposite, to be honest. But
I made so many lazy editing things because I don't know why I did that, but I'm kind of unhappy with some of the things I did, at least. Still,
Yeah, I really like the bit.
I do think
the
it's
bit
like
with the,
one of the best things I've made.
yeah, I still. Do you remember the bit where he jumps up and gets the clock off his wall, and there's like
Oh
Michael.
yeah.
There's his own eye behind it, and that was just going to be a placeholder. But I told you it was so funny just to keep it in, just because it was too funny not to. That's still my
Oh, yeah,
favourite bit.
so he's building a time machine, and I wanted him to have fuel. I just wanted to make some kind of fuel to put inside the time machine. So I decided to have him blend a clock to make time juice. So I used the background from his house that Dom had already established, and I picked the clock from the wall, the background. So when I mashed out the clock, I had to put something behind it to make it look like there was a wall behind it. So as a placeholder, I just put Michael's eye in black and white there when he was doing the noise face. But that was just a placeholder. I was going to put solid color or something just to make a wall. But Dom said it was really funny, so I kept it in.
Yeah, it was. Oh, that's canon now. It's just there's his own eye behind that clock for no real reason.
You could work that into a story somehow. Make a whole...
Probably. I want to. Do you remember at the end of Dinner Time and Space, I had Mr. Volcano and Hyrule Castle. I want to bring that back, like instead of canon, he's just under Hyrule Castle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Could be that Harkinian built his castle over the volcano, and now he's getting his revenge on Harkinian or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something, I don't know. But I never, and that's the thing, whenever I show the Hyrule Castle, I never get rid of the text Ludwig's Castle Hotel. And that was first because I couldn't be bothered, but like, I'm actually going to make a video out of that once of like, Ludwig von Cooper coming back and finding that the king's in his castle hotel, and like there'll be a whole fight scene between them over that. So that's why I don't remove it. It's like, one day I'll make a video out of it.
That should be interesting. So then, what about your favorite video? You know what? I'm just gonna bring it up right now. Is how do you pronounce your name? Because I want to make sure I'm pronouncing it right.
Me?
Yeah.
Emil.
Okay.
I know it's kind of like it might be hard to get it exactly right, so I don't mind being called Emil or Emil or anything like that.
Okay.
I always used to think it was. Emil, like the word meal with e on the beginning. But no, I think of it now as like it's like a windmill powered by ears.
Yeah, because we were talking about that in the chat one time.
Have you ever thought of making a video of the faces of Emil?
Yeah.
Okay, so what were you gonna say?
I was trying to explain how to pronounce my name at one time, and everyone else thought it was like Earmil or something. I was trying to use the way you pronounce the E part, the EA part in the ear, to explain how the E is supposed to sound in my name.
Okay.
But it was kind of hard to make that point, so everyone ended up calling me Earmil.
Okay.
But imagine that without the R. So
Okay.
Emil.
Okay. So, then what's your favorite video that you've made then?
I think it might have to be some of my parts in Me to the Future, particularly my first. I wasn't very happy with my second part. But if I had to say like a standalone video, I think it would have to be the King Chronicles Attack of the Giant Shopkeep.
Okay.
Yeah, that would probably be one of my favourite of yours as well, because it was like one of the 3 videos that got me to start doing animated things.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, it was that, because do you remember that was my collab, wasn't it? The classic Sources Club, which I hosted terribly, and it was your entry, Mealy Mario 720's entry, and 2565 Alternates entry were the 3 entries that there were 3 story-based entries, and I liked them enough that I thought I want to start doing these myself, because it just seemed really creative and interesting. So that would have to be probably one of my favourite of yours as well.
Yeah, I
second.
think... Oh, you can keep going.
Sorry, second would have to be your entry to the 70th birthday collab, the Michael Wilson birthday escapades, whatever it's called. I think it's severely underrated.
Birthday escapades, yeah.
Those were literally the 2 that I was gonna say. Those 2 are probably my favorite of yours.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I think my 2 favorite from you would probably be the King Chronicles Attack of the Giant Shopkeep, which that was actually kind of the first one of your videos that I watched. It was what made me subscribe to you, and it was the first time I well, it wasn't the first time I watched one of your videos, because I remember in my my compilation video that we were just talking about a little while ago, my unfinished and unreleased YTPs, there was a Bohemian Rhapsody YTPMV thing in there that I hadn't finished, and I remember back when I was making that, I don't remember exactly when it was, but whenever it was that I was making that, I had thought of, for the chorus, instead of Mama, put My Boy from Harkinian, and I decided to just look up Bohemian Rhapsody YTPMV on YouTube, and I came across your YTPMV of Bohemian Rhapsody with the King, and I do remember watching that, but I never subscribed after that or anything like that. I just remembered watching that after I subscribed to you and was looking through your videos.
Oh, yeah. I was, at one point, I was very happy with that video, but I just rewatched it before this, because I wanted to make sure if I wanted to mention it as one of my favorite videos of my own. But I just think it kind of sucks now. So I just never knew how to make great visuals or anything for white PMEs back in the day. Yeah. So
well, I think
I'm very happy with that.
I think it still holds up decently, but it does definitely it's definitely not up to your current quality standards.
Yeah, exactly.
I still find that what's that one? The King is just generally evil. I still find that funny watching it.
Oh yeah.
That the 2 that you did.
that was just like that was the second video I ever made after deciding to be serious about it. And even now, when I look back at it, I'm like, really? Was I really serious about that? So, yeah, I don't know.
Oh, and that one, what was that one where the king shows a painting to Link and he doesn't like it, and then he throws it outside and Gwonam finds it?
I think that's the king. Yeah, the king redecorates his house.
That's actually a
That's
good.
just a short
That's actually a good joke. To be honest, that would work in something you'd do now, I think.
Yeah, maybe I could like incorporate that to something. I don't know.
But then I think the other video of yours that I'd say is also among my top favorite was, of course, the Ultimate Showdown of YTP Destiny.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning it in your top 30 2016?
Yep.
Made me super happy to see it there, by the way, so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I was happy to see that it's getting more recognition now.
Yeah, I've never had this much,
Same.
this many views on anything before, so...
Because I still remember it. Do you remember you were on about it? I think you'd mentioned it a few times on Twitter before, and like you just randomly DM'd me about it because you needed help with some of the lyrics. So I just gave you a hand with it, and I still remember it as just that. And now it's like your more popular than anything I've done, most popular of anything you've done.
Oh yeah.
Insane.
I still kind of wish I added like some title card or something that said you helped making the lyrics or something, because I think I didn't really.
Yeah, because I did a few of I think probably the most notable one I did was "Who Delivered the Slap While Yelling Enough into the Face of Shia LaBeouf." Was mine. Because you couldn't think of a replacement for whatever it was in the original. Delivered a kick, or was it?
I had to replace kick with something because I wanted.
But it just worked perfectly because enough rhymes with Shia LaBeouf, and it also you've got him doing that sort of chop gesture as he says enough.
Exactly.
So
that's why I had to change the kick part, because I wasn't confident.
But it just worked. You couldn't think of anything, but that just worked perfectly, and I'm really, really happy that I could think of that.
It did turn out great, and I think it would have been much worse without your help this time as well.
So, well, a lot of my videos were without yours as well, to be fair. Like do you remember in Mick to the Future, before you started working on it, my idea for him going back in time was just like he'd steal Gwonam's turban and use that.
I remember that.
Awesome. That was my original idea, which would have been far less interesting, to be honest.
I do think it's a pretty good idea, though.
But I still want to do that.
Actually, I think the fire extinguisher thing was your idea, though.
It was. I think it was like between the both of us that we came up with it. I suggested like he'd come up with an idea that didn't work at first, and then he'd steal Gwonam's turban, and that would, I think, he'd just attach a fire extinguisher to a swivel chair and then go down the street thinking you could get fast enough to go back in time, and then it wouldn't work. And then you took that and turned it into an actual working time machine.
Yeah. I just kind of like made him go back in time, like unexplained. I mean, it was kind of explained with the blueprint thing, but it was never explained how it actually worked, though.
No, I think it's funny that like it doesn't make any real world sense. I can just casually, build a time machine in his house in like the course of an hour. So.
Yeah, that's what I find funny too. Just that he threw together a time machine out of nowhere, like anyone could do it.
Yeah. Anyway, what were we on about? Oh. The favourite videos of our own, weren't we? You haven't done one, Jimmy, have you?
Yeah, I haven't. I I have a playlist that I keep up to date of my top 10 best YTP/YTPMVs. I don't know, maybe I should change that to favorites, but I guess it doesn't really matter. But I think I made it my best YTP so people would know that it's just from my own stuff. But I'm kind of looking through it. It's actually kind of hard to choose which one I would say is my number one favorite. I have a few different that I can think of for different reasons. But like I really like how Link Pirates a Movie turned out. That one, I think that's easily my most unique video I've made.
That's really good, that one.
And I'm sure once I get the King's Nostalgia Trip finished, I'm sure that one's going to be my favorite video that I've made.
Yeah, well, that I was going to say that will, when that comes out, just from the preview, will probably be one of easily my favorite of yours, probably.
Yeah, I think actually, on the topic of that, I think I might actually have to take another break from editing that, because I've noticed that I'm starting to kind of get a little bit sick of working on it and wanting, I have other projects that I want to get done.
Yeah.
And I realized, if I keep working at it when I don't want to work at it, then I'm probably going to cut corners and end up...
It won't be as good.
Yeah, I'll probably end up releasing it when it's not entirely finished. But if I just take a break from it again and then come back to it in like a month or two or something like that, then I'll be able to work on it again with all my energy and motivation and everything. But yeah, I'm sure that's from what I have done right now, it's my favorite, and I'm not even finished with it yet. But I know not everybody's necessarily going to like it more than my other videos, since it is a story-based YouTube poop, and not everybody likes those. But
yeah,
and then
I think my favorite non-story based of yours would probably be the Mythbusters one I really liked.
Yeah, that one. I actually originally I didn't even like that one when I first made it. For some reason I just thought it was too subtle. There wasn't really a whole lot of jokes to it or whatever, is what I initially thought. But I ended up really liking it after a little bit of time went by.
When I first watched it was like every bit of it just hit for me, and I thought, yes, this is one of the best you've done, personally.
But in terms of, I think, like I said, Link Pirates Movie, it's definitely in my top favorites. But I think, actually, if I had to pick just one that I think is my absolute favorite, I'd probably go with PBG's Ping Pong Poop, the tennis round that I made with MP Carlson. I don't feel 100% like I can take all the credit for that, since it was a tennis round. But either way, I think that one's just, like I said before, that one's so different from all my other YouTube poops, since it's so just fast-paced and out of left field that I
remember when I first watched it, I hadn't watched the first round, and like it barely made any sense to me. But recently, I've watched like all three of them together, and I can see it as more natural progression. It works a bit better for me now.
Yeah, and actually, I guess PBG actually watched those videos. I guess.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
He tweeted at me and MP Carlson, so that's pretty cool.
It's crazy. Huh?
Yeah.
I think if I had to pick a favorite of yours, Just Another Day at Foster's probably be at least one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Or the Chad Tronic episode over Parents was pretty good.
I didn't really like how that one turned out, honestly.
Really? I thought that one was really good.
I mean, I don't hate it, but I just think, I remember it was, since the source itself was in full 1080p HD, it was kind of slowing down Vegas. I need to get a new computer and a newer version of Vegas, but I just remember editing it was not fun at all, and so I just kind of basically just ended up giving up on it. And like I said, I don't hate it, but I think it's one of my weaker videos.
Hank's Got a Lot of Beers is another good one.
I think that was one of the first YouTube poops that I made that I actually, looking back on, I still really like. And,
of course, Why Does Larry Have a Shoe on His Head is a masterpiece.
No.
So, my favorite of yours, Jimmy, I think it has to be, I mean, this might tell you a lot about what kind of YTP I like, but both Zelda CDI Revisited and also, what is it called? That one with the movie nights and Princess Peach and
Movie Night with the Princess.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah, forget about that one. That one's good.
I think those two are my favorites. I have this in the Zelda CDI Revisited video. I have a favorite quote I tend to think about a lot because I find it so funny. That's the part where Link offers a chocolate kiss to Ganon.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's like, in fact, you can have every kiss.
Yeah, that was that I was really happy with how that joke turned out. You know how I set up the payoff to that a little bit earlier, which I remember.
Yeah, exactly.
I wasn't 100% sure if people would, if it would work that well, but it seems like a lot of people liked that joke, so I was pretty happy with how that turned out.
Well, yeah, since Morsha gave him the laxatives earlier, it worked really well.
Mm-hmm.
Then everyone laughs at him.
Yeah.
Also, one of my favorite things about your videos in general is how you sentence mix the DK rap voice.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was
I really like the national anthem thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that was originally, you know, I did the whole DK rap YouTube poop, and then I used that in Larry Man Twice, which was originally just supposed to be a reference to that DK rap YouTube poop, since I tried to put as many references to my older videos in Larry Man Twice as I could, and I thought I was going to be done with it there, but I think I might actually keep that and keep using it for like narration parts and stuff like that, because it's pretty easy to sentence mix because of the way that it's done. You know, it's very.
I didn't realize it was like a clean version of available that didn't have the backing music to it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it.
I went looking for that the other day, and there's this video called I think it's like DK rap a cappella or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is that what you use, Jim?
Yeah, I think so. I think I just did a YouTube search for DK rap vocals only, and then just went with whichever one I found.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should use that for the Saucy Stories 2 entry, intro, rather than, because didn't we say we were going to sentence mix Rosen to say all the lyrics, but we could do that instead.
Yeah. Do you think I could? Do you think we could actually get that much lyrics out of that? I mean,
we'll sort the lyrics first and see which works best.
Works.
But,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not very confident in my skills in sentence mixing.
Well,
that voice.
I'm not very good.
If you need any help, I could always help you out with it.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any more questions then, Logan?
Yeah, there's another one from Dark Sparkish. Which YTP source is the best in your opinion to each of you guys, excluding Michael Rosen?
Okay.
Well, question. So.
You can go first then this time again, Logan, since you're reading them off.
So, I'm guessing he means like our favorite to use.
Yeah, we'll just go with that.
I think I've said this before, but probably SpongeBob, just because I'm so familiar with it.
But do you have any like specific SpongeBob episodes that you'd say are your favorite to use?
Really just anything from the first 3 seasons.
Well, can you narrow it down just a little bit more?
Huh. I mean, I really don't know.
Okay.
I don't just use the same source with the same episode.
To pick a whole TV series as your favorite source, I don't know. It kind of seems like cheating. You should try to narrow it down a little bit more.
But I mean, I haven't used one episode twice in one YouTube poop aside from references. I've never made like 2 YouTube poops of the same episode. So.
Well, let's say you were gonna make another YouTube poop of an episode you've already used. Which would be the one that you think you would go with?
I'm not sure. I'll have to. Uh, I'm looking at my channel right now, and I'll have to look through the playlist of.
You think you'd ever use the Christmas episode, since you said you don't like that YouTube poop that you made?
Yeah, I've thought about reusing that one, just because I don't like the YouTube poop I already made of it.
Okay.
But
Well, okay. We'll just say then your favorite SpongeBob then. So.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just assume that all three of us then are gonna say CDI. So.
Well, yeah, but I can say like my favorites excluding CDI if you want.
Yeah, I think that might be, if we just say favorite excluding CDI and Michael Rosen.
And for me,
Oh,
I think it has to be the Sesame Street Jack Black thing with the octagon.
Oh god,
Oh yeah.
he's a good.
I love that one.
Yeah, he has the best walk cycle.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it's just funny the way he walks.
Well, yeah, that's one of my favorite things about Quest for Four Ed Rosen, when there are
Yeah,
a
I just had
bunch
that
of
crowd
small
of Jack Blacks.
Yeah,
It's kind of
running.
kind of funny how I think
And now,
I think Jack Black might be the only person who can actually make a walk funny.
yeah. Well, apart from John Cleese.
Oh yeah. So what would you say?
Yeah, and ever since that you mentioned email, every time I need like a crowd of people, I always use Jack Black now from the Sesame Street thing. So like whenever I'm using like a background image and it has like actual people within the image, I just stick him over it as like a random person. And I think I've done that twice now, 3 times.
Yeah, you did it in Quest for Four Ed Rosen, and then in the intro thing
Mix to the Future. And I also did it in my in the WarioWare
yeah,
thing.
in the intro thing to the Michael Rosen.
Yeah, because there were actual people. There were actual people in that background image. So I just sort of stuck 2 Jack Blacks over them, and that's like a running thing now. Whenever I need a crowd of people, it's just going to be tons of Jack Blacks.
And the one in Mix to the Future was when he was falling from the sky.
Yeah.
So then, what would you say your favorite source is then, Dom, aside from Michael Rosen and CDI?
Aside from Michael Rosen and CDI, it's a good question. Maybe I haven't used him much yet, but I intend to use him more. I Am Mean is one. The only time I've used him was in my Christmas video so far, but I've got more things with him that I'm planning to do. I just find him just entertaining in general.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I've got one I wanted to do for Halloween last year that I'm going to do for probably, if I get time, for Halloween this year, is like a Frankenstein sort of thing with him reanimating Roger Stolberger, who is another source.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanna do a Halloween video at some point. I actually came up with one.
And it's also and also in the same video I'm gonna do like probably a Scooby-Doo type thing with like the King as Scooby-Doo and Mumph being the Scooby Snacks and things.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I came up with a Halloween video idea. I don't even know if I'll be able to. Probably won't even be able to get it done for this Halloween, but I do eventually want to get it done. But I want to make like a haunted house type of story, kind of like I forget what it's called now. There's this movie. I think it's called House on Haunted Hill or something like that. I've never actually seen it, but I've heard about it. Where this guy, I think he's played by Vincent Price, like invites this group of people out to this house, and they have to stay there for a full night or something like that, and it's like a haunted house murder mystery type thing. I just thought that'd be kind of a fun idea to have a whole bunch of YouTube poop characters in a haunted house or something like that, trying to solve the mystery of who the murderer is.
That sounds like it will be full of perfect opportunities to make a ton of references and YTP jokes and things.
Yeah.
So I think that that would probably be great.
Yeah, I don't want to give anything away about it, but I will say that I first came up with it when I was messing around with I Am Mean. So, but yeah, I think for my favorite source aside from Michael Rosen or CDI would probably also be I Am Mean. Although I think Mario Head, I do also really like using Mario Head, even though I don't use him a whole lot. Every time I do, it's always fun to work with.
Yeah, he's a good one. I need to come back. I've established in like the canon of my videos, he's like an actual spaceship rather than a character.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But he's sort of autonomous, and I'm planning in the future on bringing him back because I just think it's fun to work with.
Yeah.
And also.
And I referenced that in the intro for the Sources Stories collab.
Yeah, you did, didn't you? You had the R-Wings were replaced with Mario heads.
Yeah. And then there was it Michael Rosen in one of them and John P.
Yeah, and John P. Hess. It was a source that only I have ever used, apart from... Oh, wait, no. It's Me RBN also used it, but...
Oh, yeah.
Aside from that, only I've ever really used it.
But I think the thing that I really like about Mario Head is the fact that because of the way that he's acted out and his voice and stuff that he says and everything, you can easily make him either like the comedic sidekick character, or you could make him like a menacing evil character, or kind of like a mix between both. Yeah. Like I don't know if either of you are subscribed to MP Carlson, but
I am.
Have you watched his Mash Bandicoot?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, like the way that he does Mario Head in there, how he's kind of like a comedic evil character like that. I just think that's a lot of fun to do stuff like that.
I've seen that a ton of times before, actually, where Mario's head like attacks the king's castle or something, or.
He does that in one of the Link and the Hyrule Gang episodes. Do you remember? Is it like 7 or 8 or something like that?
I don't remember those ones so clearly as the later ones, but yeah, I have seen that before. I'm sure of it, though. I mean the. Never mind. I think I remember it. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any more questions, Logan? We've been recording for like 2 hours.
Yeah, I got one more from.
I've got a few.
From Video Game Apprentice. How do you get by making videos with Vegas Movie Studio? I'm not sure exactly what he means.
First of all, do all of us use Sony Vegas?
No, I use Adobe Premiere Pro CC 2017.
Okay.
But I mean, he said Movie Studio specifically, so because I'm pretty sure Vegas Pro is just called Vegas Pro, not Movie Studio Pro.
Well, I might be wrong, but I think he's just asking how do you. Well, actually, maybe he is asking how you use that specific program. If that's the case, I don't know. I don't. I mean,
that. You use Movie Studio. Vegas Movie Studio Platinum 11.
Yeah, I use Vegas Movie Studio, I guess.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah, I guess honestly, I don't quite get what his question is.
I think. I don't know. I know he said he recently got it. And he said he's been having a lot of problems with it. So.
Oh well, if you want to know how to use it, you have to look up tutorials.
Well, as in like crashing and stuff.
Oh well, I think crashing usually just occurs when you overload it.
I mean, it's crashed on me a few times when all I've been doing is pitch shifting. That's it, nothing else. Just pitch shifting, and it's crashed on me from that. So it doesn't always happen, but it does happen sometimes where it'll just randomly crash for no reason.
Yeah, I guess that's true, but I mean, you know, I save like every time I make any kind of edit, basically, so it doesn't really affect me. And usually if it crashes, you just have to close it and then open it up again, and it usually works just fine.
Well, if it crashes, it closes itself, so...
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean.
But, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's not that bad. I don't know. I guess it's just because I've been using Vegas for so many years that I'm so used to it. I think it was around 2010 when I first started using Vegas. Not for YouTube Poop, so I was just like messing around with it.
Uh-huh.
So it's like I've been using Vegas for a long time, actually.
I've never really tried to figure out Vegas. I've always used Premiere Pro.
Uh-huh.
Simply because, well, I first got it after I'd been making Movie Maker things because of, you know, Stuart K. Riley,
Yeah.
the YTV News used to do it. He did one, and in it he talked about the fact that Adobe was giving out free Adobe 2 because it was such an old piece of software. They were giving out the code for it on their website. So I thought, well, I'll just get that. It's legal, it's free. It'll probably be better than what I'm using, and I got used to using it.
I could see myself.
And now I use DC-17, which I got partway through my 70th birthday adventure, which I still can't. Half of that on an old Windows XP computer with Premiere Pro 2, but I'm just so used to Premiere Pro now. The one time I tried to use Vegas, I couldn't figure it out at all.
Yeah, I don't know if this is happening on everybody's end, but you cut out a lot during that.
Yeah.
I could still make out what you were saying, but just so you know...
do you want me to repeat what I was saying?
No, I think we could still make out what you were saying, more or less. It was just kind of, every once in a while I'd kind of get hung up on a word or something like that. But,
oh, right. Well, was that for everyone? Or was that just you?
Yeah.
It was cutting out really bad for me.
okay.
Oh, dear.
Like, I could barely hear what you were saying.
Well,
But,
I got out of it that
Yeah.
you started using your program because Stuart K. Riley mentioned they were giving it away, and you got used to using that. And
Free, yeah, on Adobe's site. I got used to it, and now I'm just used to it. And the one time I did try to use Vegas was when I did the classic Sources collab, and I needed, my computer wouldn't render it, so I tried to get Vegas on my laptop and do it with that, but I couldn't figure it out. And I think one of the entries didn't come up. It was Bavas Waters' entry just came up as a green, and I just never picked it up after that.
Yeah.
I've never been able to figure it out.
Yeah, I think with some people will say that Vegas is terrible and Adobe is the best, or that Adobe is terrible and that Vegas is best. But I think it mostly just comes down to whichever one you use first and get used to. I mean, I'm sure there's probably advantages to using Adobe versus Vegas, and probably advantages using Vegas over Adobe.
With what I use now, the handy thing is that you don't have to work on everything in a linear sort of way. Like, there's this thing called sequence nesting within it, where basically you can create a new project, tons of new project timelines within the project. And so, say I could create one sequence of like a loop of a character, I don't know, moving in a certain way. So if I wanted them to shake from side to side, then I can drag that into another sequence and use it as a clip on its own. So I can just move it like that, and it basically just makes animating a lot easier than I believe in Vegas. Don't you have to do everything in a linear way, and it seems far more complicated to me.
Yeah, that was the main reason I was like tempted to begin learning Premiere at one point, but I just haven't gotten around to it. But from what I've gathered online, there's advantages to Vegas over Premiere as well. So there's no like objectively better one. They shine in their own ways, kind of.
Yeah, I imagine it's probably kind of like comparing like Mac to Windows. There's advantages for both, and neither one is the objectively superior to the other one.
I could see myself.
Vegas seems better for like normal style YTPs with more like effects and things like that. A lot of them I don't know how I'd replicate in Premiere Pro.
Mm-hmm.
I could see myself upgrading to Vegas Pro, but I don't know if I would ever get like Premiere just because I'm so used to Vegas. I can't imagine I'd be able to use it properly.
Well, with Vegas Pro, it's basically just the same thing you have, just with a few extra features. It's not like a completely different setup or anything.
That's why I want to. I've thought about upgrading to Pro, and I probably will at some point. But I don't know if I'll ever go outside of Vegas. Maybe I will someday, but I don't know. I'm just so used to Vegas at this point that it'd be weird to go to a different editing software.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use Vegas Pro 12. I have for a few years now. I guess I used earlier versions before that, but anyway, I've been using Vegas since the Windows Movie Maker times.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be. I tried using Premiere once, but I couldn't understand anything. But I guess I have to go through tons of walkthroughs and things. I mean, tutorials. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just gonna say it took me a while to get used to Vegas when I first started using it. I think it's just a thing with any editing program. When you first start using it, you're not gonna know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know actually after using Vegas for so long, I went back to Windows Movie Maker to try doing something in there, and I had no idea what I was doing because I hadn't used it in so long.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty much impossible to do anything with. I used to use it, and it is just abysmal.
Yeah.
I had to go back to Movie Maker for a little bit to make an update video because I was having trouble getting Vegas installed on my laptop. I eventually did get it installed, but I went back to Movie Maker and I'm like, how was I able to tolerate this? This is terrible.
Well, when it's all you know, you kind of get used to it.
Yeah.
It like takes a million
when I
years
used to
load.
do. Sorry.
What? I finished my sentence.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know if it had cut out, or if you were just finished talking. Anyway, all I was going to say was when I did Windows Movie Maker things, I used to make full videos, and then I can't remember what some error, I couldn't export them. So a whole video that I'd made, which probably, to be honest, wasn't very good anyway, was wasted, and I couldn't upload it. It was just terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember back when before I'd make YouTube Poops, when I just made original videos, I had access to Vegas at a different place, but not at home. So what I would do is I had a camera that would record, it would save the video files in QuickTime format or something like that, and so I couldn't use them in Windows Movie Maker because you could only use Windows Media video files in Windows Movie Maker. So I remember I used to, when I was at the place where I had access to Sony Vegas, I would combine all the clips and render them all as one big video and then bring them back home and edit those in Windows Movie Maker. And I don't know why I didn't just edit the video in Vegas because it's so much easier.
Windows Movie Maker is one of the slowest editing programs I've ever used. Maybe even the slowest.
But one thing though that you do have to remember when you're talking about Windows Movie Maker is that it's a completely free program, so it's kind of hard to nitpick it too much.
Yeah, but I mean,
some people have managed to make good videos. Like Melee Mario 720 has made some really entertaining videos. Like that whole, what's it called, Amino Evil, which is like a 40-minute YTP movie, is mostly made with Windows Movie Maker.
Yeah,
and is really entertaining in the process somehow. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, I think you can get away with a lot of the same type of stuff that you could do in a better editing program. It's just it'll take you 10 times longer on Windows Movie Maker.
I haven't used Windows Movie Maker since 2008, I think. So the only thing I remember is the Windows XP version of it. So
that's my use.
And what was so horrible about that was the fact that you only had 2 tracks available, and it was one video track and one audio track. And it wasn't like I mean, it was one audio track only, and it was one combined video and audio track,
Mm-hmm.
which meant that you couldn't remove the audio from the video. It was just meant for putting a video with audio. And
Wait.
then-
Yeah, it's like you can't even reverse videos in a Movie Maker, which is like one of the most basic effects that you can do.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I actually used to make parody songs way back when I was on my old channel, and I would edit them all in Windows Movie Maker, and I remember I would put like a video or like a picture or something like that, and then the audio in the audio track, and then render that so that I could use that as a video and audio combination, and then put audio tracks underneath that for when I needed to layer audio and whatever. And so I remember I actually I did a parody of I did parody music of I did a parody song of "I Want It That Way," and which has 4 different singers, and so that was a lot of work to render and add more audio and render again and add more audio, and of course it ended up being terrible anyway. But I remember uploading that. This was back when YouTube had what did they call those? Where you could upload a video and then have it as a response video to another video. Remember that?
Video response.
Yeah.
Video responses. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I made it a video response to. I don't know if you know who he is. Brentalfloss. You heard of him?
I've heard. Yeah, I know him.
Yeah. I remember actually.
Well, I know him because he used his. What was it? The Mario Land 2 ending
Yeah, I
thing.
was gonna. He's made one video called it's the Super Mario Land 2 with lyrics,
With the lyrics.
and I used the instrumental version with no vocals for the credits part of the Sourcey Stories collab.
Okay. Yeah, I remember I made, my parody of I Want It That Way was, I think I called it I Want a Yoshi. It was about Super Mario World, and I made it a video response to his What a Wonderful World parody about Super Mario World, and I remember he watched it and commented on it. He was like the first bigger YouTuber that I ever got any kind of a comment from or anything like that. I just remember he told me the lyrics were cute, so I guess that's a good thing.
Oh, that reminds me of Stuart K. Riley commenting on one of my older videos. He said, I don't remember if it's, I think it's "The King is Generally Evil," and he said this was cute. That was all he said. And
Yeah.
I was like, yay!
Yeah. But it
Because
just
I was,
reminded me with the video response thing. It's like back when I used Windows Movie Maker, I made. There was a new Copper Cab video. You know, Copper Cab, the gingers don't have soul
Yeah.
guy. There was a new one that he'd done, which was it called? Size Doesn't Matter or something. But he'd done this video, and I made pretty much as soon as it came out a YTP of it in Movie Maker, which was terrible. It was just like repeating clips and things,
Mm-hmm.
and left it as a video response to that. And because of that, it gained the first video of mine to get like 1,000 views. I can't remember how many likes it had or anything, but that was a big deal to me at the time because I got like 20 views on all my other things.
Yeah. So did anybody else get any questions? I mean, we've been recording this now for a little over 2 hours. I think might need to start wrapping things up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got questions that didn't have anyone else tagged in. Do you have any email?
No, every question I got was because I tagged Jimmy in mine.
Yeah, alright, well, I've got, for some reason, a few of mine, I don't know why they don't have everyone else tagged in them, but let me have a look. Oh, I've got one here from someone called, what are they called? Talking Ego or something. Or, I don't know. And the question is, Who is the Queen of Holland?
Queen Juliana is a fat banana.
A fat banana. That's my answer is just a fat banana.
I think it's Morshoe again for my answer.
Monsieur. Monsieur, of course.
I have no answer.
You don't know who the Queen of Holland is?
No.
You don't even have a guess?
I've got
You.
Okay, I'm the Queen of Holland.
Yeah, I've got another one from Glitchy Shadow, who's a friend of mine. That's, what is it? What's your favourite brand of chocolate? I think that's for everyone in general.
Okay.
Well, I'm just gonna name a bunch of Swedish ones, probably. So.
Yeah, I'd probably say Cadbury. They're a big one in the UK. I don't know if you have them in America.
We have a couple different Cadbury candies that come out in around Easter time here.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Do you have cream eggs?
Yeah.
Is that what you have?
Yep. We have Cadbury cream eggs and then the mini Cadbury eggs.
There's also the
we have-
caramel ones.
Yeah, well, we have those at Easter, but like it's also a big chocolate company in general here, because obviously they're a UK company.
Uh-huh.
So the Cadbury Dairy Milk is like one of the staple chocolate bars here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for me, like I said, we only have the two Cadbury candies here in the U.S., but I really like the mini eggs. So the chocolate in those is really, really good, but honestly, I don't like the cream eggs.
I think
cream eggs are alright.
I really like the mini eggs and also the caramel ones. Not the biggest fan of the cream ones, but the caramel ones are really good.
I think the biggest problem with me for the cream eggs is I just think it ends up being way too sweet.
Yeah, there's too much.
Oh.
If they were smaller, it'd be better.
But I can easily understand why people like them. I don't hate them. You know, if I didn't have any other candies to choose from, I wouldn't pass those up. But if I had anything else to choose from, I'd probably choose that.
I know there's a place in my town called the English Shop, where they have all sorts of UK candy, and
Yeah.
I might. I know I've been there before, and I know I've seen cream eggs there, so I might try it out sometime.
Yeah. It's weird to me talking about this because, like, it seems like the sweets in the UK are completely different to other parts of the world. Like, I'm so used
definitely.
to the Cadbury Dairy Milk is like everyone knows what that is here. It's like the synonymous with chocolate bar pretty much here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then for me, I guess for just like plain chocolate bars, really in the U.S. There's really only like Hershey bars.
I've heard of them. My sister bought them once from a shop that did foreign sweets and things. I've had a bit of that. I think it was alright.
Oh yeah, you don't. I guess I never. I guess kind of like what you were saying. That seems a little weird to hear somebody who hasn't really had Hershey bars because they're everywhere here in the U.S. So
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, it was.
I guess Hershey must be
the same deal. Right?
Hershey's must be like the U.S. version of Cadbury.
Yeah, it must sound.
But
wasn't the question just chocolate brands in general though?
Yeah.
And then another kind of chocolate. I don't even know if it's a specific brand that makes these, or a specific company. I'm sure it is. I just don't know what it is. But I think they come out. They usually come around every Christmas. They're chocolate oranges.
Terry's do chocolate oranges here.
Okay. I wonder.
I don't know if it's the same there, but yeah, the Terry's chocolate orange is also pretty well known here.
Yeah.
You mean like the half circle kind of orange slice things?
It's like, and they're all arranged like in the shape of an actual orange.
Yeah. In the U.S., it's the ones that we have, at least ones I'm thinking of. I don't know if it's the same one that you have, but it's about the same size as an orange. It comes in like a gold foil wrap, and it's got all the orange sections and stuff, and it's basically just chocolate with like a hint of orange flavor, and I think it's really good.
Yeah, it sounds pretty much the same.
Yeah, I'm actually doing a quick Google search, seeing if I can find.
I think
yeah.
it's in orange paper, but in a blue box. It says it on it.
Yeah.
I was thinking about something else. Then I think.
Yeah. What do you have in Sweden?
On this exact topic, we have like just chocolate orange slices, not in the shape of a full orange or anything, just small little slices, and we call them. I don't know why, but this name is kind of stupid. If I translate it directly, it's Roman bows, like B-O-W, you know.
I thought you said something else.
Balls?
Yeah, I thought you said Roman balls.
Roman bows.
Oh God! You can actually. There's a sweet here you can get that's actually called, what's it called, like camel balls. It's like,
yeah, I've seen those.
Even advertised as like a camel's testicles or something. I don't get why people would want that, but
yeah,
it exists.
But other than that, we have we actually have a lot of the like regular American and English chocolate bars as well, like Snickers and those sorts of things.
If you mention Snickers in the UK, all the older people, 40 or older, will tell you that it used to be called the Marathon. For some reason it did, and it changed.
Okay. I really like Toblerone.
Oh God, they're good.
I've never actually had one of those. I've seen them many times. They have them all over the place, but I've never actually had those before.
Which one?
Toblerone? That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard of that.
They're they're like triangle shaped chocolate. It's kind of comes in like a strip of a bunch of different triangle shapes you snap off. I know, I've definitely seen them before. I've just never had them before. I've heard they're really good, though.
Yeah. Do you get, anyone else get Lindt, a Lindt chocolate brand? Because they're like a premium chocolate brand here.
Is that Lindt?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure I've seen that.
I don't think I've ever heard the name.
They do a box called like Lindors that are like these sort of balls, these circles of chocolate with like melted chocolate in them. They're really good.
Yeah? I'm going to do a quick Google search because I know I've definitely heard of that brand. I'm just going to see what I get if I search Lindt chocolate.
We do have them over here, but I'm allergic to nuts, so...
they do nut ones. But...
Oh, yeah, the individually wrapped chocolate balls? Is that
and they come in like a box called Lindor. They're called Lindor here, I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, that's... honestly, I used to really like those, but I remember I ate some of those one time just before I got sick, and ever since then I can't eat those.
Mm.
Oh yeah, it's the same for me with another kind of chocolate, actually, because I threw up once, like the night after I ate a certain type of chocolate, and after that I always associate that chocolate with throwing up, kind of. So.
Lovely.
Yeah, I've had that happen with so many things before in the past. It seems like it eventually wears off after like a decade or something like that, but it's still up until then, just the thought of even eating them just kind of makes you feel sick.
Yeah.
But then I know another one. I know this is just like an American thing, but I know I personally really like it. I think pretty much everybody in America does. But have either of you ever had Reese's peanut butter cups before? Like, I know that's like
I've seen them in the shops. Reese's. I think they do Reese's Pieces here, and I don't think I've had that before.
Yeah, I mean it's a very, very American candy. Like pretty much every kind of chocolate.
I've heard it referenced in things like The Simpsons quite a lot. So it seems like it's a very cultural staple.
Yeah.
I seem to remember hearing, seeing like they do actually sell them outside of the U.S.
Yeah,
Well,
but it's treated. It's like a foreign thing. Most people don't really buy them. I don't think.
Oh, well, something's wrong with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
the thing is, though, if you don't like peanut butter, then you're not going to like those. Although it's very,
Yeah, that's true.
it is a very, very different consistency than regular peanut butter. It's almost
Yeah.
like almost has. I mean, it's going to sound gross when I say it, but it's almost like a grainy, like a bit of a dry, grainy consistency, more so than like a really creamy spread.
Mm.
Well, it's kind of like really chunky peanut butter, I guess, is how I describe it. But like I said, it is definitely very American. I know peanut butter is kind of like everyone in America loves peanut butter. It's kind of like a stereotype,
Yeah.
but it's
I think the only peanut butter. Sorry, the only peanut butter chocolate that I've had that you can get here is you can get like a dairy milk with. It's not going to sound weird, with Oreo with peanut butter.
Huh.
That exists. I've had that.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. I know.
Peanut butter Oreos?
Sorry, keep putting out for me.
Peanut butter Oreos, you said?
Yeah, they do
Yeah.
peanut butter Oreos here. Had those, and they also do. You can get a dairy milk with Oreo bits inside it, and you can also get a peanut butter version of that.
I know. I've had peanut butter Oreos.
Yeah,
So I know that they do sell them here in America.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, even Oreos are like a fairly recent thing here. Like they're not like a long-standing thing at all. People are a lot more familiar with things like custard creams and bourbon biscuits, which are very similar but older, more English versions of the same kind of thing. They're like two bits of biscuit with like a bit of cream, sort of chocolate in the middle.
Uh-huh.
It'd be hard to find someone in America who doesn't know what an Oreo is.
Yeah.
So nowadays you can get Oreos easily in Sweden, but when I was a little kid, like 5 years old or something, my aunt, she lives in America, in Boston. She would used to come to Sweden every summer, and then she always brought double stuff chocolate Oreos. I mean chocolate stuff Oreos. And it was like the best thing me and my brother knew.
Yeah.
We always looked forward to the Oreos every summer.
Yeah.
But nowadays you can easily get them in Sweden.
Yeah.
Just not any double stuff or anything like that. You can only get regular ones.
Yeah, you can get tons of varieties of them here. They've started doing like these really thin ones as well, that have like really thin cream in the middle and really thin biscuits.
Yeah, I saw those. Those are, I think they're fairly new, but I'm sure they're
Yeah.
fine. But honestly, I would just rather get like the double stuffed ones because why would you want less
Yeah.
cream?
Yeah, I just don't understand why anyone would want just less of them. I don't know.
Yeah, but I know.
I've got. If you want to move on, I've got a few more questions that I've gotten.
Okay, we could do a whole nother podcast someday talking about Oreos.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the Oreo podcast. I'd listen to it. Anyway, I've got more. I've got a question from Aerodynamic Watermelon, who... Question. Yeah, what were the first YTPs you ever watched and which ones inspired you? And also, a second question, favourite soft drink?
Oh,
Kinda
what was the first one?
The first one was, what were the first YTPs you watched and what ones inspired you? Is it any?
I think I kind of already answered that.
Yeah, me and
Yeah,
Oh,
I think we've gone through that already.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess ones that inspired me currently would be like definitely emails, maybe 256 pies, Mechaweegies, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we could all answer that, like what have inspired us rather than what were the first ones we watched.
Yeah. I think I just I'm constantly being inspired by like everybody that I watch. So it's kind of a tricky one
Yeah,
to.
I get that as well.
I don't know if I could pinpoint just one, but Sugarmark in general was like a really big inspiration for me with YouTube Poop.
Yeah.
Although
I often...
You can go.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just going to say I often, like, when I'm animating things, I'll animate them in a certain way that's like a homage to a certain YTP. Like, I might do something like how Email would do it, or how, I don't know, Mechaouija would do it, how 256Pi would do it. So I'm inspired in that way constantly as I'm making things.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
you showed me your. It's actually not out yet, but.
Yeah,
your
the
first
Bloody
part of the
Adventure
Mickey
sequel.
Crusade.
Yeah,
There's
a lot of stuff in
you
there.
said you were inspired by something I made.
Yeah, well, your style in general, especially the clock, the time machine making scene.
And that made me really happy actually, and I could kind of see the resemblance, kind of.
Yeah.
But that will have to wait until I don't know how long it's going to take.
Yeah. But who inspired you then, would you think?
As of nowadays, I think you're one of my main inspirations.
Yeah.
But also Mechaouija. And a ton of other people, but those are the two biggest ones, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, if I had to just choose one person to be to point out as my biggest inspiration, I think I'd probably say Walrus Guy, because he made Mario and Luigi Travel Through Time, which, like I said, was the first YouTube poop that I watched and liked enough to watch more than once. And he still.
Did you ever see the I think he did it in 2014. What's it called? Guonam's Great Adventure with a W.
Yeah.
Or
I Know Time Enough to Ride or something.
Yeah, that one was.
That's one of my favorites of his.
Yeah, that'd definitely be like on probably my top 20 favorite YouTube poops of all time. Even that one's that's really good. But I know actually, aside from Walrus Guy, like
I remember the way he.
You can go.
So I was just gonna go on about that video, but it doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, aside from Walrus Guy, I do remember like the first, because like I said, I watched Mario and Luigi Travel Through Time, and then I kind of stopped watching YouTube poops more or less for a long time. But then I remember once I got back into watching YouTube poops, it's the one person I'd credit as being the one who inspired me to make story-based YouTube poops would be Hoffy1138. Have either of you watched his stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. What was that one called? I think it was Hyrule versus the Mosquitoes or something like that.
I haven't seen that one.
It's a little bit of an older one. I think it's like 2013, maybe 2014, like early 2014.
I've seen all his I mean bloopers or whatever they're called ones.
Yeah.
And also that Michael Rosen story that he did at Halloween.
Yeah. Yeah, but that one, like I said, that was kind of, aside from Mario and Luigi Travel Through Time, that was the first time I'd really seen a story-based YouTube poop. I remember I had kind of forgotten about Mario and Luigi Travel Through Time, so at the time I thought that was the first time anybody had ever made, or not necessarily the first time anybody had made a story-based YouTube poop, but I just kind of thought that was like a rare thing to see a story-based YouTube poop.
Hello?
Yeah, I was done talking, so.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know if it was a silence or if it just cut out again. So.
Yeah, no, it's just I just kind of stopped abruptly and got a drink of water.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
There are some more questions.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got the one from the same person. What favorite soft drink brand?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can go first, I guess.
Oh, well, I don't know. In terms of pop, maybe just be boring and say Coke or something.
Yeah.
I
don't drink that much
that much
pop.
soft drinks.
Yeah?
But
Yeah. No.
I don't know actually. I used to drink a lot of Coca-Cola, I guess. So
Yeah.
I guess I'll say that. I'll be boring.
Yeah, I guess for me, yeah, I guess I don't really know. It's kind of a tough choice, and there's also the fact that I don't know for sure which ones I pick would be actually which you would be ones that you would recognize. I don't know if it's like exclusively American or not.
I think I know most of the American ones just from like hearing about it online and it's like that.
Okay, I think my current favorite, 'cause sometimes they'll release limited time ones, or they'll cancel some, or discontinue some. But I think my current favorite one is probably Mountain Dew Pitch Black. Have you heard of that?
I've only heard about Mountain Dew.
Oh,
I've only
okay.
tried the regular one, so
Yeah, it's like a variation of Mountain Dew. It's kind of like a I don't even know exactly what it is. It's like
I've got.
Hmm?
Sorry, I was going to say I've got another answer when you finished.
Okay.
That was sort of.
But it's kind of like a I think it's like a berry flavored Mountain Dew or something like that. I don't know. I just think I really like that kind. But another kind that I really liked, but they discontinued this a few years back. Actually, it's probably been more like 5 or 6 years ago. It's been a long time, but it was a Coca-Cola pop called Vault. Did you ever hear about that?
no.
Yeah, I remember that. It got discontinued quite some time ago, though. Wasn't that like 7 years ago?
I think it might have been. I know they came out with it in 2006, either that or 2005. But I guess, to be fair, it was basically just Mellow Yellow with like a little bit more caffeine to it or whatever. But
Yeah.
I really like vanilla Coke, actually.
yeah, actually, I think
About it.
I've never had that.
I think out of the different variations of Coke, I think vanilla Coke is definitely my favorite.
Cherry Coke I've had. That's good.
Yeah,
Cherry Coke's pretty good.
Cherry Coke is really good, but I think I prefer vanilla Coke over Cherry Coke.
I
I've not had
actually
it.
really dislike cherry Coke.
Yeah?
I had it once in this one time I was in Germany,
Mhm.
and I actually thought it was kind of disgusting. But I don't know. I was like 15 then.
Yeah.
I actually,
Maybe would
I will,
like it now.
I will say about Cherry Coke, though, I actually prefer Cherry Pepsi. I think Cherry Pepsi's slightly better.
Yeah, I think I prefer Cherry Pepsi over Cherry Coke, but I think regular Coke is better than regular Pepsi.
Yeah. Although I don't know, it's usually, if I had to pick a favorite pop, when I'm given the choice, usually Dr. Pepper is what I go for.
Oh, yeah, we didn't even ask you what your favorite was.
Yeah, Dr. Pepper is usually what I would pick. Cherry Dr. Pepper. Actually, I don't know. Maybe Cherry Pepsi would actually be my favorite. I don't know. It's tough to say.
Oh, and
There's
then
a lot of good ones.
and then another one, another Coke flavor that I think they only had it for like a year, but I remember having it one time and thought it was really good. It was called Coke Black, where it was like coffee mixed in with Coke, which sounds really disgusting, but I remember it being really good.
I don't remember that.
Like I said,
imagine
That's
that being
interesting.
kind of good.
like I said, I think they only had it for like a year because people just weren't buying it. But I remember they had it in like little glass bottles, and I just remember it tasting really good.
No. I was going to say, do you get, I don't know if you'll get it, Schweppes lemonade. That's really good.
Yeah, we do have that here. I guess I've just never tried it before.
No, I remember that. I haven't had that for a while, but that's good.
Yeah.
That's my answer, I think.
There was
Okay.
this one variation of Fanta that doesn't exist anymore, I think. But it was elderberry flavored,
Oh yeah.
and I really liked that as a kid. But I can't find it anywhere anymore.
Hmm.
So I guess it's not a thing anymore.
I remember another discontinued pop that I think that it was I think it was only in like the early to mid '90s or something like that. So I just barely remember it, but it was Pepsi Blue, and I honestly don't even remember if it was any good, but I do remember liking it.
Oh yeah, that also reminds me of Pepsi Twist, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. I remember
lemon flavored Pepsi. I really liked that as a kid as well.
Yeah, I remember they would they had Diet Pepsi Twist, which I remember they had an advertisement for it. I don't remember the whole advertisement. I just remember they would it was some celebrity drinking a Pepsi, and somebody walked by and mentioned it, and they said, this isn't a Pepsi, and they zip it down. It's it's a Pepsi Twist or whatever, and I'm not this celebrity, and they pull a zipper down, they're a different celebrity. I'm this celebrity, and then they would say, but this isn't really a Pepsi Twist, it's a Diet Pepsi Twist, and I'm not this celebrity, I'm this celebrity. And I don't remember. I should actually look that up. I wonder if I could find it. But
I thought a good advert.
Yeah.
Also, we should probably keep going with the questions, I think.
Yeah, I've got another question
Yeah,
from
a few more.
Rad Sting,
Okay.
who's another person I know. It's, what style of animation do you think goes best with the CDI cutscenes? I don't quite understand it. I think it means maybe YTP animation, I guess.
Well, could you read it again?
What style of animation do you think goes best with the CDI cutscenes?
Okay. Maybe they just mean like fast-paced, kind of like something like Mecha-Ouija, or something a bit more like subtle and realistic, like I Teach Vader.
Yeah, I would say that something I was going to mention earlier. The Walrus Guy, the Gonam's Great Adventure video. He animates the CDI characters in a very interesting way that kind of matches how they're animated in the original source, in a way.
Yeah.
That I always thought was interesting. I guess I'd say that then.
Yeah, and I know he actually, he did a whole bunch of original animations, and even did the animations at 10 frames per second, like the original cutscenes are.
Yeah, don't know why they'd be
I
10
think
frames per second.
So many different ways of animating them that I've seen.
Yeah.
That I really can't pick a best way. I just think it's a matter of
Have you seen
style.
Gaiba-chan's King's Epic Adventure series? I really like the way he animates it there. He does it in a way that's kind of similar to how I do it, but he does a lot of custom sprites as well that are really good.
Yeah, his I forget who exactly Harkinian was fighting, but the animation for Harkinian fighting this boss or whatever, that's a really cool looking scene. I don't think I've ever seen another YouTube poop that animated like that.
Yeah, I do just done that more custom sprites if I can, but I need to get graphics tablet with it before it's feasible.
I don't know if I could really pick a favorite style for CDI stuff. I think it just really all depends on who's making it.
Yeah, I think I think the CDI just kind of, you could animate it however you want. If you want to do it more slow and subtle or fast paced and whatever, I think it works either way.
Yeah,
I've seen so many different great ways of animating it that it's hard to just say one best way. Like the best way, and I don't think I can really answer that.
So did you have any more questions then?
Just one.
Okay.
But I think I think you've got said 20 minutes ago there was another reply to your tweet of it. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah. This is from Nicholas. Asked favorite music genre. So why don't you go first, Logan? What's your favorite music genre?
Yeah.
Like if
pretty much.
If you were going to listen to any song right now, which genre would you choose from?
Is video game music a genre?
Well, I mean, if you mean like 8-bit video game music, I guess you could call that a genre.
Chiptune.
Just any kind of video game music in general.
Well,
I don't really.
like the Super Smash Bros. Brawl theme, that's video game music, and Pong,
Yeah.
or actually Pong doesn't have music, but like Donkey Kong, that's video game music, so it's very different. Just like what type of video game music specifically?
See, that's the thing. I don't really have a favorite type of music genre. If I think the music is good, I like it. I don't really have a favorite genre. There's no specific genre. I think, other than country, any genre can sound good.
So you like anything but country music?
Yeah, pretty much. I think anything can sound good as long as it's not country.
I typically don't like country either, but did you guys know that? I'm sure you probably did, but the voice actor for Dr. Robotnik, Long John Baldry, he was a country singer.
Really?
Oh, was he?
Yeah. I came across one of his songs. I think I knew about this from reading about it on Wikipedia or something like that, but I was listening to a playlist of Robotnik YTPMVs, and it had one of his songs in there, and I just decided to listen to it. And even though I don't really personally like country music, it actually wasn't too bad. And I mean, you can kind of tell from Robotnik's voice that he has a very musical voice, so it kind of makes sense that he'd be a singer.
For my favorite music genre, I listen to a lot of video game music.
Yeah, same.
But I also listen to jazz quite a bit. But the thing that's most important for me in music is melody. I don't enjoy listening to things that just are completely lacking in melody.
You just reminded me when you said jazz, Michael Rosen jazz band that you did.
Oh yes, yeah.
That's.
Have you guys seen that? The Michael Rosen jazz band.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was inspired by a jazz musician I was listening to.
Yeah, well, didn't you say that you were inspired by the fact that you saw the Michael holding his breath, sort of, and thought it'd be funny if he was like playing a trumpet?
Oh yeah, exactly, yeah. And so I put that along with a jazz song that I really liked at the time, and I still do. I mean, but yeah, I think I'll say jazz anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about you, Dom?
What would I say? Similar answers, to be honest. Video game music, I really like. I listen to quite a bit of, and I really like the Grant Kirkhope stuff in Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong 64 and stuff.
Yeah.
That's really good to me.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'd say in terms of a genre. Jazz, I also like. I do like some classical as well, just bits. I don't know what I'd say, to be honest.
Yeah, I think for me it's kind of...
Sorry.
What were you going to keep going?
Ragtime is a good one as well. I like.
Yeah, definitely.
Ragtime. Like Tom Breer, I really like his stuff.
I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever heard of him.
He's well known on YouTube for doing like proper ragtime piano versions of video game music, which is stuff that he performs like having not even seen deep music before. He's never played the games. Somebody with deep music, and he just plays it. So riffs on it on the spot. It's really good.
For me, it's kind of again, it's very hard to pinpoint a specific genre because I like to listen to a big variety of music. I really like. I know this isn't a genre, but I think one of the only musicians that I really listen to all the time is Weird Al. I really like. I guess I just like music that's funny. I like music that doesn't take itself too seriously. That has more than just something that's fun to listen to, something that's actually funny. But I guess if I had to choose a specific genre, I think one genre that I really enjoy, even though I don't know too many musicians who play it, but I really like ska music.
Oh yeah, I forgot that genre existed.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I'm
it
not
was
familiar with it actually.
Huh?
I'm not very familiar with what ska actually is, except that I've heard the word before.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's kind of like punk rock music that has it incorporates like trombones and saxophones, trumpets, those types of instruments to it, and based off the ska bands that I've listened to, it seems like a lot of them don't necessarily take themselves too seriously, or at least from the ones I've listened to. I know it's not necessarily part of the genre, but I think that might be one of the reasons why I tend to like it. But yeah, that was really big in the '90s, but then it just like completely died out in by like the end of the beginning of the 2000s. And then another genre that I do actually really honestly enjoy is like a guilty pleasure. I know it's really really stupid to say this, but I honestly really like the way that the boy band genre sounds. Like again, it's really stupid, but for some reason I just like the way it sounds. It's fun to kind of listen to it and just kind of, it's guilty pleasure, like I said.
Jimmy Davis unironically likes boy bands, confirmed.
It's kind of
Blocked,
unironically.
unfollowed, unsubscribed, disliked.
Well, I mean, I've never actually owned like a boy band album, or I've never even owned a boy band song before. Closest thing would be like Weird Al's parody of "I Want It That Way." But yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is about it. I just kind of like it the way it sounds. I guess the only two genres I can think of that I don't like I said, I don't really like country, and I really don't like metal music.
Metal music, it depends. I think it can be done right.
I
I've heard
like some, but like a lot of it's just like noise, and it's just like horrible.
Yeah,
it's when they actually try to make music out of it that I like it.
Yeah,
I just like yelling and noise. And...
that's what I mean with melody. By the way, sometimes in particularly in metal, there are sometimes songs that are completely lacking.
Amelodious.
Yeah,
and I really don't like that.
Yeah, and I guess to say I don't like metal music isn't necessarily entirely true, because like any genre, there's a ton of subgenres. So I guess I don't know for sure if the technical term for that subgenre is screamo, but I know that's what everybody used to call it. Where it's just a bunch of loud noise and yelling for music. Basically.
Yeah, that kind of metal I don't like. I'm sure that if you looked, you could find something in that subgenre that's good, but...
Well, I think, honestly, the thing that I tend to notice is it seems like the people who like that type of music are people who like to play, like, electric guitar and stuff like that, because I guess, the guitar parts in metal, like that type of metal music, usually is fine. It's just the lyrics themselves, I don't understand how somebody likes that.
I guess when I say metal music can be good, usually what I'm thinking is like metal music that doesn't have lyrics, just like the music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the music aspect of it is typically pretty good.
But I mean, when you say metal music, technically, there's a lot of like really popular bands that would fall under the category of metal music, like what would it be? Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, I guess. Pretty sure those would fall under the category of metal music. I'm not really a huge music fan. I'm sure a lot of you can tell.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have a playlist of music I listen to every night at work, and it's like 99% YTPMVs, so I guess YTPMV is my favorite genre.
Yeah, best genre.
If PMV is a genre, then yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Yes.
You mentioned
Twinkle Bell.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Pretty much.
Weird Al.
Yeah.
Earlier, and at one point I was obsessed with one of his songs. That parody of R. Kelly's "Trapped in the Closet."
Oh yeah, Trapped in the Drive-Thru.
Yeah, exactly that one.
Yep.
I think if I
Logan, don't interrupt.
Sorry, just keep going. I thought he stopped talking.
Making a YTP out of that many times, but I haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, I think that probably that seems like it would have a lot of YTP potential. I've considered making a YTP out of that too.
I did see one, a YTP out of that I really like, but I don't remember the name now. So
Yeah. Yeah, and I know with me, when it comes to music, I'm one of those people who, when I find a song I like, I'll listen to it over and over and over again. Like, you know those like 10-hour versions of songs you'll find on YouTube?
Yeah.
I'm one of the people who listens to those. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes when I'm at work, I'll put on one of the 10-hour versions of the songs, and I'll usually listen for like a couple hours. Sometimes, well, I know I listen to them sometimes when I'm working on YTPs, and I know Shia LaBeouf Live. I don't know if you've heard that song, but I used a clip of it in Zelda CDI Revisited, and while I was making that YouTube poop, I listened to the 10-hour version of that one 3 different times all the way through.
do you mean that the Running for Your Life from Shia LaBeouf?
Yep,
thing?
that's the one.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, I love that one too.
That's like
I've done that
must-see
listening to
YouTube.
music that are like loops of it on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of ever since I started using Chrome, though, you know, you can right-click on a video and click loop, and it'll just play it back from the beginning when it's done. And ever since I started using Chrome, I've tried doing that more often than just listening to the 10-hour version, because I know, you know, sometimes the 10-hour versions, they just upload them without permission or whatever, and so, you know, they're not, whoever made the song isn't going to be making any money off of it unless you listen to their upload of it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, what I was going to say was, like at college a few weeks ago, I had a lot of written work left to do, so I listened to motivate me for it. I listened to a song from WarioWare DIY called Body Rock that's like in Jimmy T's stage.
Yeah?
So I motivated for it, like a 20-minute loop of that, and kept playing it, and that did help me get the work done better.
Yeah, I've been listening to so much Siva Gunner. He's done a few different body rock remixes that I think it'd be kind of hard to go back to listening to the original one. But I always like all of his body rock remixes.
Oh, I've not seen much of the Siva Gunner things since the early days of it, when it was like a 64 slider as the Flintstones. That's pretty much the extent of what I've seen.
Yeah, and they're very, very hit or miss. I mean, I think there's technically something like 20 or 30 different people who make videos for the channel. So sometimes you get stuff.
Wasn't the one that was actually like a remake of a YTP of like the King with like Vegas or something?
Yeah, it was. I mean, the song itself, they like did a YTP MV of it, but the video itself was a remake of that YTP. I forget what it was called, but all I know is that I think it was the King download Sony Vegas, something like that, which was
was that?
That was the sequel to that one was The King is the Internet. So.
But you know, back to the looping. I don't think I've ever listened to a 10-hour one of anything. I've listened to like half-hour long extended ones, and like I've on multiple occasions listened to the half-hour long version of Studiopolis Zone from Sonic Mania. That was around the time the song first was like uploaded to YouTube.
But a half an hour just isn't long enough, though. It has to be at least an hour or two.
And I've listened. There's been a couple times where I've listened to the Crash Bandicoot 3 theme looped for like 36 minutes. I've done that a few times, and I think I've done it with a few other songs as well. But like, I usually don't go longer than a half-hour ones, and I just like have it on in the background while I'm doing other things.
I see there are 2 more questions on your tweet, Dom.
Me?
Yeah.
Let me have a look.
I mean, I was thinking that question Fafnesser tweeted.
Oh yeah, of course.
We could do that. We could do that for the last thing.
Who can say ho the loudest?
Okay,
that might be
so
a bad idea.
So okay. So before we do this, I guess then, yeah, this will. Is that the last question you have then?
Well, I have another one, which is just like a joke question from someone, like, what's your favourite page of the dictionary? So I don't know whether we should bother with that one
Page
or not.
69.
Yeah, page 69.
Oh,
No, page 420 for me.
oh yes.
It's a big dictionary.
Love it.
I think
It is.
Watermelon already said answered the best
203.
reply. 203.
Mm.
Yes.
Okay, so
So
I was thinking we could do that whole thing.
yeah,
last
who can
thing
say
before
the king's ho the loudest?
okay,
Is
so
that-
so just to be clear, that's the reverse thing, right? Not the O.
The reverse or that
Yeah,
reverse.
the reversed. Oh,
Oh, oh, oh,
So
oh,
the
oh,
ho.
oh.
So ho. Okay. I don't know if we should. Maybe we shouldn't focus on the loudest, just the most enthusiastic. So that way, if we don't disturb the neighbors by yelling ho.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That sounds good. So who begins?
Maybe before we do that, maybe we should like wrap up everything else so that the very last thing of the podcast is just us
Yes.
yelling ho one at a
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
And then it
yeah.
abruptly ends.
Yeah. So before we end, then, well, I'll ask you, you guys to each pick 3 of your YouTube poops that you would recommend for people who have never watched your content before, and I'll link to those in the description below.
All right.
Email, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So the 3 ones I noted, I wrote down before this. The ultimate showdown of Ultimate Destiny. I mean, sorry,
Wait,
let me rephrase that. The ultimate showdown of YTP Destiny would be my first one, and then the King Chronicles Attack of the Giant Shopkeep, and also the Michael Rosen's 70th birthday escapades. Those are my 3 I would recommend.
Okay.
Yeah, and me, it'll probably be Mick to the Future would be the first one. I think that's a good one. Second, what would that be? Adventures in Dinner Time and Space. That would be the second one. And the third one would be my Christmas video of Very Merry Mealy. I thought that was a good one.
Okay. All right. So, like I said, for everyone listening, if you made it all the way through this 3-hour-long podcast, thanks for listening. Links to all those videos will be in the description here. And to end it off, we're all going to say ho really loud. So who wants to go first?
Anyone but me.
Okay.
Alright.
I don't really want to go first. I think.
I can go first.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So the backwards.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Ho! I don't know.
Okay. Logan, you want to go next?
Ho! How was that? Was that good?
Did he become an opera singer?
Ho! I don't know. That's what it sounds like, right?
He sounds like somebody who's trying way too hard to become a Santa Claus.
Ho! Ho! Ho!
Okay. Dom, you want to go next, and I'll go last?
Okay. Ooh, ship. I did the ship.
Oh,
me,
you
okay.
did it? I thought you were warming up.
No. Did I do it? Oh, that won't win then.
Hmm?
No,
What?
I've done. Did it cut out, or did it?
It kind of cut out. That's kind of another reason I think we should kind of wrap things up, because I think it might be because we've been doing this for so long. It might be kind of why it's starting to kind of lag a little bit. But I guess I have to end it now.
Yeah, a bit for me.
Okay.
You have to end it.
I have
Your
to end
destiny.
it. What? What did you say?
I said it is your destiny.
It is my destiny. I'm just stalling because I don't want to do it. Okay. Let me see here.
Do it.
Ho!
Yeah,
That was pretty loud.
winner.
Yeah, it kind of did come out pretty loud, but that'll be good then.